This is a production of Darn TV.
What's going on?
Well,
Is this Taylor Swift?
mood setter.
I don't know what this is. I'm not 100% sure what this is. It's called motivation.
Wow.
Sounds pretty good, don't it? Gets you motivated for a Dirt Weekly? Welcome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Episode 59. 5-9er.
Wow.
That's
5-9er.
That's like 2 years worth of episodes we've done is 59.
That's what I was a year ago.
Oh,
So we need to keep this rolling all the way through April because we
Yeah.
had no racing.
Ah.
yeah.
Whoa.
Shut that down. Introduce to you guys your new monitors.
Yes. This is exciting.
How about that, huh?
Always said we never know what Brandon's reading. Now we get to know.
Now on the
So-
right-hand side of your screen, right over here, is where the comment section is.
Oh, boy.
So you'll be able to read the comments right along with me. So as they are commenting, then in the center, obviously you see the production.
Do we want to see the
Yeah,
comments?
well, I think now's a good time to say, now remember, you get what you pay for.
Uh-oh,
So-
Jet, see now?
Oh,
Look,
see-
first comment.
Oh, wow. What, not good? What do you mean not good?
Well,
This
come
is
on,
like a
Dudley.
new toy.
Yeah.
all right. Now, since Jed's chiming in,
Yeah.
it was Saturday, the day of the car show in the first night of the fall round in Williston. And I'm heading down to the car show in Minot downtown, right? And I'm seeing you pull out heading to Williston.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I want to be in there.
Can't be everywhere.
And so I
at
go to
the
the car
same
show,
time.
and I see Jed down there, and I'm thinking, why is he not with you?
Yeah. Why weren't you?
I'd be a tick on your.
Well, the upside of that whole weekend with Jedley on there was it was his birthday on Saturday, and that's where the magic came together.
Oh,
My,
yeah.
My 2 victories this year were my mother's birthday and my brother's birthday.
But he wasn't there.
But he wasn't there. But it was happy
Congratulations on that win.
birthday. Yeah.
I want to say
we might,
that
we
I'm
might
wa-
get too much mileage out of it. It's a long winter.
I have that came out of nowhere. You know, it was almost
Yeah.
like Slade and Pfeiffer's victory, taking the white at
Yeah.
4th place and ended up winning
Yeah.
it. You were not way back, but 5th.
Well, we replayed it last time, and I said, I know how this ends, and it still don't look good. I had to watch it. I'm sure it's going to happen twice.
You know, my announcer / racing point of view, I seen it coming, 6, 7, 8 to go. I don't know when it was in there that I made the comment.
And I
on
heard
the
you
call.
saying that, and I'm like, I trust you, Brandon, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the eyes of the game on that were to being low on the exit.
Yep.
Don't let her sweep up. So keeping the left side and a little bit of glue there, and, well, it found where I wanted to go eventually, but, yeah. Thank you, Chad. Yeah. So.
See, this is a new world here, isn't
Yeah.
it? In the
I'm not sure what we're going to get here, so but keep playing along. We'll get corn in here somewhere.
And what's weird about that, now that I'm thinking about Williston, is you got your notebook of notes, and you think, okay, I'm going to be down low. That's where the groove is. But I'm thinking back to the mod tour night, and they could not have driven farther off the top of the rim. Strickler, Hibden.
Yeah. Well, that's the magic of dirt is, and as a promoter, track preparer, you want to keep the drivers guessing for that exact reason, because it's not the same twice. So and then everybody can kind of enjoy a good night every once in a while. It tricks even the guys that are solid. So, yeah.
The race inside the race, you were the first one to see it down there, and you went there. And why doesn't anybody just follow you?
Well, and reflect back on that race there. I mean, Troy had gotten there on the bottom, so I was able to watch him get there, and then he moved up off of it. I'm like, I'm not so sure I want to move up off of it. So then that's when I kind of concentrated on staying there and seeing how far I could get in his tracks per se.
Because sometimes you feel fast in a line. Okay, so let's say you're running the top, but you hit a roadblock. You hit somebody else in front of you is running the top. So you get to a point where, well, I got to go somewhere else. So I'm going to move down here, and I'm going to try down here. But you don't feel as fast, but yet you were fast enough to maybe pass that guy.
Well, you're measuring your gap.
Yeah,
so,
you're measuring.
So if the gap stays the same, you're like, well, it's not worse.
Right.
Or if it gets smaller, you're like, it didn't feel right, but it looks right.
But after you clear him and you make that pass, in your mind, you're sitting there going, well, I was faster when I was up high. I felt faster.
Yeah.
Just my feeling,
Everything
I felt
felt
like
better.
Felt better up high. So then you abandon that line that got you to the front, and you go back to where you felt faster, and then pretty soon somebody goes by you. And as a race fan, as an announcer, we sit there and go, what are you doing? You just took the lead on the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, as a driver, you're going, no, it felt better up high. It felt better to me in the car up high, so that's why I went back up there.
And each driver has their own unique comfort level.
Yeah.
Tyson, high side Terry, loves it up there.
Yeah.
I always say to Steven and Drew Christensen, they're probably the two down low rail best that I've seen.
Get down there and slug it out.
And it's Underwood, the first night of the Cole County Classic, it seemed like it was top dominant all night long. A lot of wind, a lot of dry.
Mm-hmm.
Steven takes track, dumps it in the bottom. I knew he was going to do it, and he made it go down there.
He rode her home for a checkered flag. Yeah. Yeah. Well, then that's the toss-up, too, is that a modified with the J-bar traction and all that there can easily give you a 180 on what you're watching. In other words, you've been watching a high line. Maybe the two-barrel cars have been up there momentuming it type of deal. And then, oh, wait, there's still a good racetrack on the bottom that hasn't been enjoyed yet. So
my point, though, congratulations on that, Wilston. That's two this year.
I know. I hope there's still one out there next year. So
to intro this real quick, episode 59, the Dirt Weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Craig Heupel, Jordan Boyce joining us tonight. No Smalls Medler. He'll be gone for this week, next week. We'll try to bring him back on before the banquet, because then it'll be the week before the banquet.
Yeah, we'll get
we'll get a preview of the Nodak Speedway banquet. The SIBO Motorsports rundown on the top left of your screen, specializing in high-performance parts, chassis repair. Call Ryan at 701-720-3889. It is now the time to plan for next year.
It is.
Do not wait until January.
I'm making small moves at my house for that exact reason, and if you got to get in with Ryan, like you say,
now is the time.
Get the conversation cooking, because I think you can get more done between now and Christmas than you do between Christmas and Easter.
Yes.
So
somebody said hi to you. Did you read the comment?
Stapleton.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hi, old boss. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Well, that's interesting. I don't normally wear a lot of shirts. Stapleton, this is your style right here.
Oh, Jeff Barta even says hi to you.
Hey.
Nice.
I'm digging the Monty Lundy shirt. Those are cool. Those are retro, and it looked good that night. It looks good
today.
My
goodness. So. That night I walked in, and they're peppered everywhere.
Yeah, I got mine too. Yeah.
That was a fun night. Monty Lundy night. So the first thing on our rundown is we have the Jamestown Stampede.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of you were there. I'm guessing you watched it on TV.
Oh,
did you watch any replays back?
I did. First off, the weather. Phenomenal.
Oh,
wow.
Could not ask for better.
Wow. I don't have great excuses why I didn't run the Stampede or the Mandan deal, other than I just mentally wore out with racing per se. But wow, what a great year to participate in both of them, because the weather was great.
I was in Jamestown. I brought my pickup. I had my grill. I had two grills. I had a flat top, a Blackstone griddle. I had my normal propane grill, and Cole Handshoe was parked there. I think we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of us all parked together.
Sounded like it was a great time. You both were cooking and grilling, and dang.
Got introduced to smoked cream cheese.
I did not hear those details.
Oh,
that sounds
man.
interesting.
Have you ever smoked cream cheese?
No.
That
sounds like a 3 a.m. deal.
No, it was a 10 o'clock at night deal or 9 o'clock at night deal. He started smoking cream cheese, and I looked at Brock, or we kind of looked around, and I said, I'm not necessarily a cream cheese fan.
Yeah,
it doesn't
smoked.
Yeah,
what?
let alone smoked. And the best part is he has to rebuild his damn Traeger every time that he wants to use it. Has to redo a wire or something, turn it on, turn it off with a wire.
It has moments.
Whatever. Well, he pulls this cream cheese out and he brings it over to us and says, "Give it a try." He hands us a chip and says, "Give it a try." We take the first try, and it was like crack. I had to follow that damn thing. I even tried to steal it at one point in the night.
Good.
I had an empty aluminum pan, and I took it over and I slid it where his aluminum pan was and took his full one
Wouldn't
over.
that go good on your steak sandwiches?
Well, we had 70+ steak sandwiches cooked that weekend.
Wow. You had her going on.
We were going.
Boone style.
The meat company, Jordan Hill, owns the meat company out there west of town. Everybody needs to stop in there. I'm giving him a shameless plug. I don't care.
Yeah.
He supplied us our meat. We went and bought sausage and.
Got the thin slice like you wanted?
No, that meat came from Select.
Okay.
But the sausages, we had bratwurst, we had links, we had jerky, we had everything for both weekends. We got it from the meat company. So
check that out.
Excellent sausage out there. Jordan Hiddle and them guys are producing.
You kind of really hit your groove come Stampede and Oktoberfest.
Oh my God, it's my favorite 2 weekends of the year. I don't care what happens. I miss it so much. Nobody understands. I love what I do at a racetrack. Either I'm the race director in Underwood, I'm the announcer in Williston, I'm doing whatever I'm doing in Minot. It's all fun. I'm behind a camera in Devil's Lake or Estevan or whatever. It's all fun, and I enjoy being there. When I can go without anything to do, look out. That's where the fun really happens. And I don't drink.
Yeah.
There was one alcoholic beverage drank in 2 weeks.
It sounds like you eat.
Everybody leaves fed.
Yes.
Plump.
Because I have, it's frustrating as a competitor when you're in the pits. I'm a guy that doesn't eat before a race. Not that I'm nervous. It's just I don't have an appetite before a race.
Thinking about other things.
So, yeah, my mind's everywhere else or whatever. I'll eat at lunchtime-ish, and then I won't eat again until after I'm done racing.
And it's supposed to be bad luck to eat chicken before a race, right?
Sure.
Is
it's
that
bad
a thing?
luck to have green on a race car, too.
Chicken, green, 13. I don't know.
So before this night,
it's a bag of tricks.
This night,
yeah,
I'm working, right?
Yep.
Peanuts sometimes too.
Ed comes in, and I notice he buying some chicken, right? Aaron wins that night. I know he had chicken.
See, on the Monty night,
dispel the myth.
No. Right.
Yeah, it was. You're not wrong. I get in my groove. I love these 2 weekends because I get to show up as a Mandana competitor, Jamestown, just a pitman, and I make sure what I wanted to do is cook food, and everybody that ate, I would make sure they get fed after they race their race of the night, and don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask. That was my biggest thing for 2 weekends. Don't be afraid to ask. Let's make some food. And pretty soon I noticed people wander over. Hey, you got anything cooked? No, but I will. What do you want? And then just creating finger foods, making sausage links, cutting them up into little pieces so that way they just sit there in a tray on the warmer and people just reach in and grab them.
Appetizer style.
Yep.
Last couple weeks of the season, so last good conversations with people. Yeah.
It was a blast. The racing part of it, I don't know. I don't remember a whole bunch. I don't know how much I watched. We had a big projector on the side of the trailer that we sat in chairs in and watched.
They made reference to that, so it was popular.
The weather's not supposed to be too poor this weekend.
No,
the honey-do list is long.
I know, but what I'm saying is the way you guys mobilized and got ready after the rainout during the tour of Jamestown, Smalls could crack open the doors and one more go. One more go.
They empty the water out of there pretty fast out of the grandstands.
The way you're feeling and Brock are feeling, last time you were out, you get a win.
Yeah.
There's things I have to do before freeze up or before cold, and if this is going to be a nice weekend, I'm going to do them.
That's what I've been doing for the 2 weeks beforehand to get caught up to you on this weekend for the same thing. Yeah. Yeah. But you're right. The weather's going to be nice. But I see Marcus was teasing out there somewhere. But
the way Marcus is feeling, he don't want to be done.
Well, yeah. No kidding. He had a nice feature run there. So, all right.
Yeah.
Well, Jamestown.
To Jamestown. So, I mean, in our immediate group, we had Adam Goff on the one side, Brock on the other side. So, I mean, those are the two that I paid attention to the whole weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, a lot of guys had some good runs. We had Matt Lizotte. I think hockey player, Matt Lizotte.
Yeah, Cole crew chiefed him for the weekend.
Yeah,
and
ran Cole
I think he
Hansher's
got a hard
car.
charger out of the feature deal there. So
Didn't necessarily like what he felt. It sounded like the first night, but you know he was in there. I mean, it was kind of a tale of two racetracks. It was a little bit more hammered down on Saturday night, like gripped up. There's quite a bit of moisture they put in it, and then it slicked off a little bit more for Saturday. But that's to be expected on a 2-night deal.
yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised how well I thought the track actually held up because there was quite a few cars there for sure, and it's no secret I like them. I like them damp and fast. So it was, and I wasn't there, so that was on me. But nonetheless, it looked like some pretty dang good racing.
We had a spot for you, right in the center of the two of us. We saved it just in case you showed up.
Oh dang!
We worked you over pretty hard.
Yeah,
Johnny
you did.
Lizotte.
John Lizotte, not Matt.
Yeah.
John Lizotte.
Yeah, John.
My apologies.
Brothers, and Cole Hanshu's car is Johnny's old car.
Yep.
So it was always very competitive in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's not like they enjoyed their weekend together, and that turned out well. Like I say, got a hard charger out of it. So I want to say moved up like 15 spots, got up around a 10th.
Well, technically, Jamestown has upcoming events.
Do
All they have to do is just add them back. It says drop, but October 3rd and 4th, they can just add. Or 4th
Is that
and
their
5th.
rain-out nights?
Yeah, in case it rained out that they were going to race this weekend. Just put it right back up on the schedule. Let's go.
Yeah.
We'll get you 20 IMC hobbies, some mods, sport
Walk
mods.
in and see a sport mod all ready to go in the garage.
I got a right front flat tire, but I can air it up. I'll go do something foolish now. So.
Yeah.
No, we're just teasing, guys. There's nothing cooking that I'm aware of.
We're going to kind of
so.
concentrate on our IMCA classes a whole bunch. I mean, I don't know, like in their bombers, they call them bombers. I don't really know anybody down there that races them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Asher Williams picks up the win.
Yeah.
Didn't watch.
Not to be mean, just don't know.
Just don't know him. We're just not familiar with them down there. The legends, Noah Madler. The Madlers are on fire, aren't they?
Huh. Yes. Fire.
So
and Gage Madler second. So
they've been typically doing a 1-2 job. So.
With 6 green arrows. Gage with 6 green arrows.
So Levi Wald, he's got on Facebook his sport mod and his legend for sale, and that legend looks absolutely sweet. And you think, wouldn't it be fun to get in there and dance? But my good, the Weiss, the Madlers, the Martins, getting in that legend thing.
Well, it's not supposed to be easy.
I don't know.
But, yeah, well, you could get a pickup in a little enclosed trailer and be running right along with us.
I was thinking about piggybacking on the back of the green machine.
Well, we could.
I'll go where you go.
Yeah. I just pulled it around. I'm going to clean it all out. There might be enough room to put you right in front of the stock car. Whoa. Living large. You'd only last one weekend. It might be too large. So,
Yeah, but the Madlers, obviously, sometimes when you watch drivers, you watch them in Dickinson. Like, we see the Madlers in Dickinson, in Underwood, some in Mandan, but up close and personal with our own eyes, a lot in Underwood.
Mm-hmm.
They're fast in Underwood. And you always wonder, does that translate to other places? Does the speed that they show in Underwood, does it translate to a Mandan or a Jamestown?
Jamestown type of deal, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely it does. They are legit. The
Yeah.
Madler brothers.
That's really what I've been seeing in this last month of racing also is they're solid in the results. as are the other good runners there too. But yeah, specifically, Noah's having a good run. Mm-hmm.
Slingshots, Gunnar Raynard picks up the win down there.
Gunner on a tear. On a tear. All month.
Finishing out this year strong.
Yeah.
On a tear.
Yes.
Lucas Rodin, the Nightmare. He's played in an IMCA mod before. I think done some tour stuff.
Done some good.
He won the Midwest mods, Wissota Midwest mods.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good race too. It was good to watch. I know he goes out in New Mexico there during the winter there. And has done well in Las Cruces, I believe it is. So. Mm-hmm.
But think about that. Think about that slingshot deal. The guys that are in those slingshots, just the pack of guys that are going to be coming up. Keenan Glosser, he drove a slingshot, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
And look at how he's transitioned to that sport mod. I mean, he can run with all of them.
He can.
Just be patient because he's on. I mean, I think he's about to year 4. Didn't he get started in that sport mod COVID year, 2020?
Yeah, he's been in it for a couple of years for sure, maybe 3. So
it takes a few years. Just got to be patient with him. But yes, they're learning.
Young. I think he's 17. So.
Yeah, they're learning and grooming. You know,
there is no beginner class in racing anywhere. You look at that sport compact, which should be the earliest of the earliest, but you got the Toolies, the Turnbulls, the Pfeiffers. It's just nuts. Where do you get in and think I can learn here? No, it's game on every class.
Bruce is sharing that national champions in every, or points leader in every division.
In the Legends are
in the Legends. So the toughest legend racers in the country are right here.
Well, and that's what they say.
We get to see them. So
we ask why some people travel all the way up here. We ask, why do you come all the way up here to race all summer from Australia?
Yeah.
And, maybe some other places they'll come up and spend a couple weeks from like North Carolina or wherever. It's because this is where the best legend racing is. The best drivers in Legends are right up here in our backyard, and we get to watch them all the time in North Dakota.
Young people I know like Ty Olson is really honing in on his skills and making moves. And
what does Dilly say here?
Yeah, I see the Dillies have made a few trips in the green machine. He says you better pack a lunch. Dang, Dilly, it was just from your house to Mandan. That was a shorty. You gotta make one to Florida. That's a real trip.
I don't think we'd be. I'm gonna fly for the Florida one.
No, that's cheating. You know my rules. You can't fly in. You have to.
What is the reference to pack a lunch? Because you're slow?
Yeah, because you're so.
Yeah, because it's not it's not a magic carpet ride. It's
you're gonna work harder to get
got
there.
Manual windows and no air and maybe no heat. We've had to tape up the windows before, so but. Yeah, it toughens you up for the event once you get there. So that's right, Dilly. Hey, so speaking of the green machine, little tune-ups here and there. It's had some wear and tear and very little maintenance. So I get looking around at my trailer tires. I got wires sticking out of like 4 of them. Ooh, we got trouble here. So at any rate, go up to our friend Adams. Tough Trucks, Dynamic Auto. Yeah, I get a couple of new tires put on my old rims. And my trip to Williston, I'll be darned, I must not have got the lug nuts tight because I lost one. Oh, I finally buy a new tire. I lost one. Long story long. We got a couple more rims and a couple more tires. The green machine's going to have 4 of the 6 new trailer tires on it starting next year.
Do you notice the tires on while you're driving?
No.
Really?
You don't know it left. No, you can't feel it. You can't see it. It was a passenger front. You'd think maybe it'd come up and zip up beside me. Nothing. I know nothing.
I would think that if someone saw that, that'd be a lucky fan. Bring it to you. Could you sign this?
Do something. Let me know. Yeah. But anyway, I lost one, so I had to get another wheel. And Adam's General Store up there, which can fix our cars, in my case, was able to even.
So on the way
replace
back
some trailer wheels and tires.
From Williston, are you scoping?
I was, because we got out of there early enough. I'm looking all over the place, but I realized that even mowed grass in the ditch could hide a tire pretty easily. And, of course, there's corn along the way, so if it zips out in there, it's lost.
I've made probably 3 trips to Williston, 4 trips since then, and I keep my eye out just along the edges.
It's a white wheel, so.
You're going to get that wheel back. Someone's going to see that.
I don't know. It hasn't happened yet, so. But at any rate, Green Machine's got 4 new tires on and 2 new wheels.
Better knock on wood. Don't jinx yourself on anything.
Yeah, we got to get the torque settings. No more cordless. We got to get the torque wrench back out. Get them on right. So, pack a lunch, Dilly. We're going somewhere
Wissota
in the
Street
spring.
Stocks down in Jamestown. Hunter Carter picks up the win. That Carter last name, I believe.
Johnny.
Well, I believe it's
Related?
a relative of
Yep.
Johnny.
Yeah.
There's Todd Carter, there's Hunter Carter, and there's Johnny Carter. I don't know. Somebody maybe tell us.
Yeah.
Cousins, brothers.
I sure in my mind anyway have them all somewhat related somehow. So But,
Jarrett, I think Todd Carter and Jarrett Carter, 19 and 91 stock cars that were in Mandan. I believe their father-son because they came in the same trailer. I'm not sure where Johnny and Hunter come in.
Darren's on here, Johnny's cousin.
Johnny's cousin. Perfect.
Thank you.
Yes.
We
And
mean to know this, we don't yet.
I clicked on this just because I wanted to bring it up.
All
Johnny
cousins.
Carter.
No, Marcus.
Yep.
Hi, buddy.
Johnny Carter, who had a run of a lifetime down at the Super Nationals in his stock car, gets the call. I was standing there talking to him. It was myself and him and Frederick, Zach Frederick. They were kind of BSing a little bit. And he was explaining to me that on Saturday morning he got a call to run a street stock. Not Friday. Friday is when the heats and the qualifiers were. Saturday. And he started tailback, I believe, in the B, got all the way up, made the A main, started 23rd in the A main, and finished 3rd.
Who's the dude that went through the D, the C, the B?
Down at the
at Boone.
100,000?
No,
No, there was no DCB.
Oh, yes, that was the 100,000.
100,000. That was
Harley?
Kurt Lund.
There you go.
Yeah.
But
That's-
Johnny Carter just shows, because when we're talking stock car to Wissota Street, we're talking quick steer to no quick steer.
Right.
I
That was our reference in the spring here, the differences in
Yep.
adapting to cars.
So he was able to adapt back to Wissota Street, race there, and then go out and be ultra competitive. I believe he won the stock cars.
Well, the Carter name certainly knows how to set up a race car and drive them, and I'm all ears when they're talking.
Yeah.
I want to pay attention. So
Todd and Jarrett are father-son. Johnny is a nephew. Hunter is a nephew. So
See,
Hunter and Johnny must not be brothers. They're cousins. And Todd and Jarrett are father-son.
See, this is the perfect time
Yeah.
because you're talking about these differences of these two cars. Get them on the track for a heat race or something. I would love to see the Wissota Streets and the IMCA stock cars.
there's been a
battle
little
it
bit
out.
of intermingling during the tour there. They require like the IMCA tire on the back of them. There has been some intermingling, but certainly not full effort from both sanctions.
And the
if you
two
will.
hobby
So-
classes. That would be cool to see that too.
So you have seen it. There's been invitationals and there's been different things. The reason why the street stock, Wissota Street, and the stock car don't have that kind of stuff is a stock car has a definite advantage.
Certainly when they were doing it, I mean, they had the header, if you will, and weight jacks and what else do they have? You run a manual transmission is some of the stuff I'm recalling. But, God, lately watching them, they don't look like they're that far apart. But
The eye test, the Wissota
yeah,
Streets,
the eye test is close.
They look cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they look fat.
Yeah.
A Wissota Street, you're running, it's a 9-to-1 compression motor because that's where the crate motor fits in.
Oh, it's 602 fits into that. We
you
got
know,
10.5 in the IMCA.
So you get I think you can go up to 9.5 to 1 on an open motor in a Wissota Street, and so you're losing one compression point. I mean, power glides are getting to the point where they're almost
yeah,
you know,
wear you out if nothing
they're
else.
they're almost as efficient as maybe a Bryn or a Falcon
yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah, they've been so tricked
You know,
up. That's
they've
true.
been they're and you get to if you run an open motor, you have to run the 500 barrel two barrel 500 CFM, same carburetor as you. If you run the crate motor, you get a 4 barrel. You get the same
kind of like sport mods. then.
same as a sport mod. Yep.
Hunter Domagala made that jump and no problem.
Right.
Yeah, got a track championship. Yeah.
There's some differences. Most street stock guys don't want to even go on the track with the mod or with the stock car guys because they think they're beat right out of the gate.
I don't know if they have a minimum weight. I'm not sure on that.
3,200 pounds.
Oh, okay. So we're 29.5. So
Gartner. He used to drive the Wasota Street. He converted his to an IMCA now too.
Yep.
And I think he's better.
In the IMCA.
He is.
how do you get around good?
He was pretty good in the Wasota Street stock, but I mean, yeah, he's a lot of these guys seen the writing on the wall. Jason Berg did it before a lot of other people, and they just knew that the world was transitioning up here to the IMCA stock car. So they made that jump sooner than everybody else. So they're ahead of the game. You know, there's some other guys that aren't ahead of the game. They're coming in behind now.
Yeah. Well, that retooling your race operation to another car, I mean, it's not as easy as it is to say. So
softer tire in the street stocks. You get a little bit better. I think it's a better tire, softer tire.
It folds up, so so it is definitely not as rigid. So
Wear out faster.
Actually, I don't believe so. Jason Berg and I kind of had that test going when I was running his car, and I was on 4-night-old tires, going into the Stampede. I had 2 brand new ones for the feature, but I was just as competitive in that heat and dash with 4-night-old tires.
Do you think that the tire talk is greater now than it's ever been about wearing out? It just seems like I'm hearing that a lot about burning the tires off. Tom Berry Jr. at the Super Nationals.
It's a hot button issue for sure. Some of that stuff there on Tom's stuff there, some people are of the belief that maybe grooving them too deep, cutting into maybe some of the structure. I don't know. There's sometimes they delaminate, and
I think it's the easiest thing to bitch about.
Yeah.
Like when you're sitting there.
I say it's a hot button topic.
It's hot button, but when you're, it's the easiest thing to complain about because we've got ourselves so dialed in with crate motors now. In the modified ranks, everybody has a crate motor except for Tyson Turnbull, which Tyson can be competitive with an open motor. He's unique. Tyson's unique.
We need that diversity.
We do. But what I'm saying is, so when you sit there, everybody, I had this argument with somebody else. They're talking about the shocks. Well, you need to get on this shock program, or you need to get on this shock program is what we were talking about. And I said, it doesn't matter the goddamn shock program. You mean to tell me that shocks are that much different between Joe Blow, Jim John, and Susie Q? Everybody is on a lot of the same stuff.
20 years ago, there was a dirty rumor.
Yeah, I would think so.
Dacotah modified Jordan. Everyone in the stands. Jordan's running these illegal shocks out of Iran. It was just everyone was talking about these shocks that you had.
They took them away, and then they wanted to give them back. I didn't want them back.
Oh, did they test you?
Well, way back when it was happening there, yeah. I had lost your shocks on, I don't know, the second win or something like that. But
see,
I lost a couple of sets. I said, well, I really don't want them back. Well, I had to take them back. So, but that was a different time.
What I'm saying is everybody's got themselves so dialed in with their motor, their shocks, they're with a chassis, builder or whatever they're trying to do.
Well, you can't control the tire, so it's easy to complain about it.
It's easy to complain about it.
Yeah.
I'm getting these hockey pucks. I'm forced to buy these hockey pucks. I can't do anything about it. It's the tire's fault.
Dickinson.
It's the easy.
Mod Tour
They
night.
Sealed up. They're old. They're
Strickler running for the lead. He burns off his tire, and it cost him a good run. Night 1 of Cole County Classic, Pfeiffer and Hagen going at it. And Hagen, I thought he was going to park it in the coal mine. He was driving that thing so hard. And I was with you when he came off the track. I thought the right rear would be just melted on fire.
Yep.
No.
It was all there.
I'm like, this thing's
good.
Got to be gone.
I know.
So it's just the weirdest phenomenon, those tires. Sometimes they burn off and no.
Again, the dialogue goes towards maybe siping too deep, grooving too deep if it fails. I'll share with you on my Williston deal. I just didn't take any time to do anything, and they were just the way I bought them. So
yeah.
Actually, the left one was used, so and the right one wasn't new until the second night. So Sunday.
It's one of them weird deals. Like you get it.
Used one on Saturday.
You get it in your mind. You're like, you're sitting there and you're going.
From Motor Magic, to be exact.
You're going. Okay, Travis Hagen is winning. Aaron Turnbull's winning. Stephen Pfeiffer is winning. They're siping and grooving their tires. They're doing, X, Y, Z. So in your mind, you're going, I have to do that if I even want to be close. Because
you can't leave that ambition out of your game.
You can't. Yeah, you can't leave that on the table.
you're like, I'm going to beat him, but I'm not going to do anything. Well, that doesn't sound right.
Right.
So
you have to at least
you
put
do
in the
it just
same.
because they're doing it, and then what day is it?
So
Yeah.
the siping and the grooving, are they saying that they know more than Hoosier? I'm going to make this tire better than what Hoosier thinks they can make it?
Well, reflecting on my motocross days, I would say that grooving, if you think it's going to be a track that's going to throw up dirt, you would get maybe a better scoop on it and easier to clean out. Some of the thinking on siping, kind of like what we do with our daily drivers. We want to sipe tire on ice. Ice is very slippery. You break open that tread pattern a little bit there, and you allow little edges to help you, kind of like a centipede's feet, if you will. So I mean, once you start consuming that and you believe that, pretty soon you feel like you really do need to have a preparation for that.
Do you think that that's something that IMCA should take off the table and say, leave the tires alone?
It wasn't that long ago. There was a post, and somebody said, let's go back to the no-touch rule, because when we signed up for them in '97, you couldn't touch it. I'm not kidding. If you'd have figure eighted it on a concrete, you might have been accused of hitting it with a grinder.
Yep.
So, I mean, it was a no-touch tire rule, and what it did is it allowed all of us to not spend 2 nights on tires. And I think that's important. As we say, the speed of life, balancing the days we don't race with the days that we do, knocking some of that crazy stuff out of there isn't all bad to some people.
And you'd have to talk to somebody who's more. You'd have to talk to somebody who was doing the modified game before siping, before grinding, and now afterwards, and find out, are you racing the same? First off, you got to ask, are you racing the same amount of nights? Mm-hmm. Number 2, are you buying the same amount of used tires or same amount of new tires? Are you able? Because I think the philosophy between siping, grinding, grooving was you could get extra life out of the tires.
That was the sell.
That was the sell. Mm-hmm. So now you have to ask. I'm not one to. I don't have any knowledge of this.
Yeah.
This is something I don't have knowledge of.
It's a great question. I know where you're going. Did it in fact do that?
Did it in fact do that? Is somebody?
If your team bought 30 tires and they bought 20 and enjoyed just as much success, then it did.
Then it did. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you raced in 2018, if you raced 30 nights and you bought 30 tires and you had success in them 30 nights, well, in 2024, if you raced 30 nights and you only bought 20 tires and you had the same amount of success in your mind,
then it seems like you elevated a used tire to.
Did it accomplish what you wanted to accomplish?
So if I'm an IMCA stock car driver, and I know I'm going to run the Stampede, and I'm going to follow it up and do Oktoberfest, how many tires do I need going in?
Well, you're going to want to go to the Stampede with 4 new ones.
With the 4 on the car already.
With the 4 new ones on the car. You're going to entertain the back ones throughout the course of that event. Depending upon how much money you have, you're probably going to leave the front ones alone going into Oktoberfest, and you'll continue to entertain decent tires.
And a tire
Probably
weight
new.
costs $100?
$170. Yes. And that's why the hobby stock's got a big advantage. They're still using street tires. I think they're still getting them for $80. But yes. You never know what rabbit holes we're going down. But yeah, so to shoe a car is $640. I think that's absurd personally. I think that's absurd for weekly racing. I think that is nuts.
At the very best scenario, you get out of Stampede with your original 4. Mm-hmm. And what are you pulling out of there? Pulling out of Jamestown, heading home with winnings. Obviously, if you win, you're happy as a lark.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But I might criticize Oktoberfest a little bit for this because I looked at 4th and 5th place, and I'm like, I'm not sure I can get through the gate. And there's going to be 25 cars, and there was, so actually a little bit more. But, you're looking at that, and, well, nothing's wrecked right now. That means it won't be wrecked for Smallsy's car show. so I started leaning that direction because I already had a good head start on April with a car that ain't bent. But
Dylan Barnhart, tires prepped correctly is as important as the engine timed right these days.
Well,
then that's interesting that Dylan says that because almost the least most popular thing that people hear about is the motor. It's the shocks. It's the setup, the tires.
Yeah.
And it's like the motor doesn't matter anymore because everyone has a crate.
Well, Dylan's hitting exactly right. I mean, as a racer, you don't want to leave anything uncovered. You just don't. You don't dare. Because if everybody else is doing it and you ain't and they all beat you, well, then that's your go-to answer. So, Travis, okay, what Travis got?
I think there would be a bigger gap between a new untouched tire versus a used untouched tire. Being able to groove and sipe used tires allows used tires to be competitive again.
Mm-hmm. Codes is right behind him. What's Code say?
I think if they go back to the no-touch tire rule, mod tires or more tires would be bought. I do miss just the sipe rule.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we at here?
Right there.
It keeps jumping around.
Oh.
Just the sipe rule because the sipes will generate heat and make them fire again, but untouched tires really struggle to fire again once they've been used.
Again, I've
That's
got
why
nothing
they
but
got
the
the
utmost
grinder
of
and-
respect
Yep.
for their opinion, because I've allowed myself just to kind of just not be on the edge. But that's probably great dialogue from both of them there to address your question. And again, if yesteryear's 30 tires,
Read Marcus.
because the fast guys do.
That's
right,
what I-
Marcus. That's
that's
what
what
I'm representing. Exactly. Right. It's monkey see, monkey do. So, but if 30 tires can be replaced with 20 tires, that is a positive deal.
It is.
And you just have to be a part of that procedure. Then
You missed a comment that Travis put on there
I did
earlier.
not do anything in Williston,
And
but put them on.
He said, "Why are there not Hoosiers on the Green Machine trailer?"
Oh, I thought you were serious about that. It's not on there, but
Oh,
Why
yeah.
would you put those on there?
Well, I don't know if Hoosier can make a good trailer tire. We question it to make a good race car tire. So, and trailer tires need to be made out of cast iron.
so here's my question. So Travis brings up a point, and I'm going to put him on the spot. Hopefully he's still listening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Travis made the argument that if you had an untouched new tire and an untouched used tire, the used tire would not be competitive. But if you sipe or grooved, whatever, if you prep the used tire, it'd be more competitive to the new one. Why are so many drivers out there siping and grooving a brand new tire before they put it on the car?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a logical question. I'll jump in and say that once you get them dirty, of course, it knocks the blades off of everything that you got. So even if you wash them, you still got to sand something. There's sand in there somewhere. So it is tougher on blades. But yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess technically
Competitive advantage.
Yeah, right. So,
but by doing that now it brings up another question, and I wish Trav was sitting here with a fourth headset on. Someday we'll do that. Someday we'll do that, because are we killing the life of that new tire by siping and grooving it before we even use it?
right.
Are we taking life out of that now, and then you can't bring it to life again later?
If prepping a used tire makes it better, then the natural train of thought is that prepping a new tire make it even better too.
That's what I'm saying.
So we don't stop spending, and then we're spending X amount of time prepping also. As I say, you're spending 2 nights in the garage playing with tires when you should be seeing the kids play baseball. So yeah. So somebody said race cars have always been expensive, and they still are.
Is there a tire guru, the guy that has them all prepped and ready to go?
You can buy them from Trackside prepped and ready to go.
Yeah.
You buy
They'll
Dacotah
be siped.
Yep, Dacotah Trackside will sell them to you siped. So you just pay the extra, I don't know, $20, $25.
Somewhere in that area. So, and that'll at least be siped, and then I don't know that they're grooved.
They have a groover over there now too.
Also,
I don't know if they do that for sale. If they do that, but I think if you request it, maybe they would
Travis
do it.
might hop on and tell us that there.
Yep.
But yeah, so I mean, like I say, they say race cars have always been expensive, and they still are. And we're looking at some car counts. They've been pretty good. So some will say that no matter what the complaint is, the numbers say it isn't too bad. And I'm the first one to complain, and the numbers aren't too bad, so it must be true. Like I say, I raced when it was a no-touch deal. It was comforting to know that they were that, but But it didn't change the fact that you could put new ones on every night. I guess after this conversation we're having, I'm not so sure that there ain't plenty of new ones still going on, prepped or unprepped.
Yeah.
So
back to Jamestown.
Yeah.
Travis Hagen again. The biggest thing is paying $155 for a $90 tire. We sipe and groove them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trackside sells them siped and grooved, saves a ton of time.
Saves a ton of shop time. Right. So, just trying to keep the masses involved. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jamestown. So, feature time. Speaking of Travis.
Colin Hibden picked up the modified win.
Yeah. But
Travis Hagen comes home second.
One of our own.
Yep.
Representing our end of the world.
The bigger news is the hard charger moving up 16 places was none other than Marcus Tomlinson.
Yes. That actually set the stage for a couple of good weekends for Marcus.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got a warm fuzzy to Jamestown. He likes that track.
Yeah, it has been good to him, and it gets around pretty good. And,
I'm going to take a little bit of credit because I watched the stock car feature, and I watched the guys out there that could roll that bottom, roll all the way around that
Get
bottom
in low,
in
stay low.
Jamestown. Mm-hmm. I went over to him. Brock was in staging for the mods, and I had this conversation with Brock. Walked over to Marcus, kind of said the same thing. That bottom is there. Don't give up on it. You can roll that bottom. I never seen Marcus leave the bottom.
Yeah, well,
Brock didn't leave the bottom neither.
Yeah. Like you say, make sure you're free enough to get around it without the push. So,
I want to go back on you guys. Since Travis is listening on this, I thought this was pretty cool. Back to Motor Magic, final night of Motor Magic.
Okay.
And he's dominant. Quentin Kinsley's running a great race, running with him, but Travis has got this thing. Tires siped, whatever. Everything's set up perfectly. Everything's in his control. And I think it might have been white flag, close. He pulls off the top of the track, and it almost seemed, in the stands that Quentin didn't give enough room to race. And I even think Quentin thought that in his victory lane because he was not real super excited in victory lane. Subdued.
Well, I was going to say he was subdued. I was going to use the same word, yeah.
And and everyone thought, man, he ran Travis off the track. That's what everyone is saying, And so you go in and talk to Travis. He's like, ran out of gas,
Yes.
And that's like, come on, man. You go through all these different steps and procedures and preps.
That is a great point. Yes, I'll let you finish. I'm going to jump on it then. So,
and I go in and talk to Travis. I'm more upset than he is. It's racing. I'm like,
Travis's character, he's always in check. But to reflect on that, there was numerous yellows, and we're seeing the mod drivers. They're checking with a stick how much fuel they have. They're actually playing the weight game of fuel.
Yes.
Now, back in the 90s, we had 32-gallon cells. We topped them off and headed out.
30 lapper, different than our normal 25.
Yeah, the additional 5 laps. Yes. I mean, they all knew it was longer, and I think they were prepared, and I think they all prepare for a 3-yellow night or something like that. But nonetheless, there was enough pace laps on those yellows that one thing led to another, and it caught Travis. And I think it caught somebody else, too. I thought I heard somebody else had sputtered at the end, made it to the end. But, again, a great point. Again, it's exactly what they're saying on the side here is that is you want to stay competitive. And at a 2450 weight, you don't want to be 2950. you
Basically,
want to be 2465 type of deal.
So are you telling me that if Brandon's out there making his steak sandwiches, Travis is like, hey, man, I got to leave it alone because I need that.
I want it in fuel, not in steak sandwiches.
Well, what it is they're setting their car up basically for the last 5 laps or for the end of the race. So when they scale it, they're scaling it with the fuel simulation of running a feature.
That the car is at its best at the end.
Right. Mm-hmm. So they're going, okay, a gallon of fuel weighs X amount, and they're working backwards from the end of the race backwards. And they go, okay, well, they take a ruler, stick it down in there, and I need 13 inches of fuel because that equals X amount of gallons, and I'm going to burn 4 inches or 6 inches of fuel out of that tank throughout this feature, basically.
I'll elaborate. So you get a new car, you put 5 gallons in, and you start with your stick, and you mark where it's at. I mean, you put 5 gallons in at a time so you know where you're at. again, I'd reference 32-gallon cells in the 90s. Now I know that things went to a 30, and I think the wedge cells are even 26. So they've even kind of lightened up their maximum capacity, magnified by that 30-lap deal. Smallsy's got a pretty tackied up track, so
they were on the throttle.
We're in the gas. Yeah, we're on the firewall. So it all adds up to consumption, and I dare say that maybe the faster track might have used some fuel. I mean, the traction was there.
In addition to that, we just talked about the expense of the tires, right? Fuel is just a given. That's free, right? Look at the expense of just that. And the tires, my goodness, this is nothing.
Yeah, you're watching 24 cars that are prepped going out there, and I mean, a barrel of fuel, ballpark, I think alcohol's right around 250, maybe 280 a barrel. It's somewhere in that area. I ain't bought it forever,
than gasoline, but you burn twice
of it. So they say
much.
It's about the same. So, yeah, and again, as I'm sharing, the cells have gotten somewhat smaller, upwards of a 6-gallon smaller. So even if they were topped off with fast conditions, and some longer yellows than anticipated, one thing led to another. But yeah, because I seen them come in front, and all the tires were up, and that's all I knew at that point. But then I'd later heard that it sputtered on them, and doggone it. So yeah, but exactly, Craig. Just to your point, I mean everything is thought about in that preparation. Like you say, the siping, the grooving. You're guessing which one is going to work on this track, and then again, the kind of the fly in the ointment, if you will, was the additional 5 laps per class. Everybody ran 5 more laps, and I'm still old school. I just top the thing off till it runs out. I don't mean it to run out, but it always does, so I know I'm full. But but nonetheless, that's what A-Mod racing is.
Sorry about going back on you there.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah,
you're good.
That was a great idea. A great talking point for sure.
So we talked about the mods. Where are we at now here? We'll roll through this. Sport mods are up next. Gabe DeShaw picked up the sport mod.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice presentation for him. He picked up the stock car win last year. I remember referencing his stock car win last year was going to be what I called his entrance to the stage of 2024. He certainly had backed that up. I saw somewhere that I thought he had won 20-some features with his sport mod throughout the year. So, I mean, not only did he win the Stampede, but they'd had a post. I thought that I had understood it was 20-some wins. And to reflect on the year, I'm not saying I seen it coming, but I seen it coming. So
what do you think a guy like him is waiting for?
He raced 69 features with 23 wins.
23 wins, okay, yeah.
So
wouldn't you think he'd be going up to the A-Mods?
And he experienced that a little bit there. He drove Eric's car there. I haven't had that talk with him, but he is certainly showing all the attributes you need to entertain that. So
can the peer pressure start right now? We're going to peer pressure him to go to a mod. Do you know why? Because this is selfish. This is 100% selfish for all the race fans out there, for all the people that love the sport of racing. We want to watch Gabe DeShaw and Travis Hagen and Steve Pfeiffer all go at it with one another. And Aaron Turnbull. And
I dare say he's going to be the next bet for that bunch. And,
give us Travis is getting old. Gabe, get out there right now. Travis, I know you're not old in any way, shape, or form,
30.
but you're old. And we need Gabe in the A-Mods so we can witness this for however many years.
I've been campaigning for Robbie to make that jump.
Yeah. Well, and again, as we were talking about some of the inner workings of the race car and all that there, I mean, everybody's got a budget to play this game.
So what would the A-Mod expense be? The difference between a sport mod? What would hold you back?
I would say in sport mod, I'll touch on your tire deal. I think once you're established some driving, I don't think you need to have new tires on every night to have a good night. I think when you're racing with Steven and Travis and Aaron and the boys, one of them's going to have tires on, so that means the rest of you got to have tires on. So, so there's going to be an elevated, cost to that. So.
I think the week-to-week cost maybe ain't that much more expensive. I think Brock's figuring it out now. He's been running the A-Mod that Adam Goff purchased from Wayne Johnson. The week-to-week cost, but a lot of your initial expense costs goes up.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more to the rear suspension on a mod.
They got a quick change and a lot more suspension, so a lot more freedom on shocking and stuff like that. So.
You have the 604 crate is about $3,000 more than a 602. The Burt, the Bryn, maybe
aftermarket
transmission. Are you in line for maybe a few $100 more on that? I don't know, but it just seems like once
if you have nothing, an A-mod is significantly more expensive.
The initial expense of an A-mod is probably more. But when it comes to it, I mean, as long as you're not wrecking every week, I bet the expense from week to week is, I don't want to say it's the same because obviously there's differences.
I reference often, but the mall show price is different than the end of the Stampede price.
Yep.
You know, in other words, your running budget. So,
what's holding him back? I don't know. I've talked to Bo a little bit about it.
He's young. He's in college. He's still
doesn't have time to maybe take it on full time, and they don't want to go into it with a half an effort.
He won at the Cole County Classic, and he took the stock car up there, left the Sport Mod at home. I'm not saying that the Sport Mod is a second-class citizen, but the street or the IMCA stock car, he drove that because he said it paid more. The Win did.
Yep.
Well, the IMCA A-Mod is going to pay a lot more.
Yeah. Well, and we can't speak for him, but nonetheless, again, to reflect on the great Sport Mod year for sure, and excited for him. I mean, he's won it in 2 different classes now and back to back. Pretty cool. So
peer pressure. Peer pressure. The fans in North Dakota want to see Gabe DeShaw go up against Travis Hagen.
Yeah,
we want to see it.
Well,
Dalton Flory is a good example.
Yep.
You know,
he's a great example.
He just jumped into the A-Mod, obviously great with the stock car, and didn't mess around with the Sport Mod. Just said, "Here we go, we're going."
He's my sleeper next year. I'm gonna say it now.
Yeah.
I think Dalton's gonna. He's on year 3 or 4 of the mod.
Yeah,
probably 3.
He did entertain the Sport Mod a little bit there a couple years back, but
he did run one.
Not very many nights though, right?
Yeah, just in Williston, but he was doing both there. So stock cars and sporties,
but
a little bit.
I think he's going to have a breakout year next year. That's in the mods because he's right on the edge.
Oh yeah,
he is
his
right
fall
there.
roundup performance was solid and
yep,
going the right way. So I agree.
He just needs to pay somebody to give Travis Hagen one of Jordan's wheels that falls off so he can't make it.
Don't let me tighten up your wheels. My cordless rattled to an end, but apparently it was just kidding.
Not enough ugga-duggas.
Yeah. Adam said, well, maybe you over-tightened it. I said, we'll never know. So it's gone.
The irony
the studs
is
are gone
that
too,
tire is right by the shrine to you.
Oh, dang. So, yeah. But great job, Gabe. I enjoy watching him. He gets around good. He's looking for the racetrack. And like you say, someday, somewhere, he'll be a great fit into the Warriors of the A-Mods too. So someday.
IMCA stock car Johnny Carter picks up the win.
Had to fight for it a little bit.
Yeah.
Had to race for it. But again, still fresh off his Boone performance and still enjoying that.
Your buddy Brody Karlsruhe third.
Yeah, Brody's had good runs. Yeah, we'll get into Oktoberfest there too. But no, he been crawling up from the back pretty good. So.
Yeah, you guys brought up Scott Gartner before. He went +8 up to 8th. So, no, good run.
Yeah, Scott been getting around good too. So, I agree.
It was fun to see Daniel Aberle. That's a name that Western North Dakota doesn't know.
Yes.
He's a big-time Wissota Street guy that has made the transition over to stock car. That is not his street stock. He bought a purpose-built stock car.
Stock car, okay.
He didn't convert it. Picking up a heat win and the dash win, that's pretty cool to see.
And he led the thing forever. It kudos to him. I'm glad you brought his name up. Kudos to him because it didn't look flamboyant or all jacked up or wheelied up or anything like that. It was just solid, and he ran around the bottom, and, I mean, he gave him fits. He ended up second, didn't he?
I think he ended up DNFing.
Oh, he didn't finish. Okay. Again.
Yeah, he DNF'd.
He did. Okay. Yeah, it's already been a couple of weeks. But at any rate, again, I thought it was a solid performance. Paid attention, stayed focused on his line, and he won the dash and started on the pole there. So
is Johnny Carter the same Carter that won the Underwood race for the
that
big
was
money?
his first. Yep. That was his first IMCA stock car feature win, and then he goes on to Boone to have a great weekend podium finish.
That's what's nice about Johnny Carter's car too. You brought up Daniel Aberle. if I remember right, maybe somebody out there in Wissota land can help me, but I think both Johnny Carter and Daniel Aberle were on the Stealth chassis with Frederick. Zach Frederick built Stealth chassis out of Richardton, North Dakota, Dickinson area. And I think they were both in Stealth chassis street stocks, and their cars weren't all like hoppy and bouncy and that stuff. They were pretty solid.
Yeah.
And both of them have made the transition to a stock car, and their cars are not all jacked up, wheelied up. They're smooth cars.
Pretty flat and predictable. Yep. Yeah. Maybe lacking some of that craziness, but again, the consistency goes way up when you eliminate some of that stuff.
Some IMCA people get upset when these Wissota guys come over and they get a Wissota car or they get an IMCA car and they're like, God dang it, these guys, Wissota guys, I don't like them. They don't belong here. They need to go back to the Wissota land. I think it's cool shit.
Yeah.
Because I've seen these guys. I mean,
like we're reflecting the Carter family name, anyways. Just been around that stock rear clip car, and I mean they've got it going on. So
well, the running joke when I was sitting there talking to Johnny Carter and Zach Frederick, we were BSing because a couple years ago that was the top 3 in the Wissota Street Stock feature. It was Carter, Frederick, and me. Before the motor expired. So I mean,
right.
That was kind of our little talk that we had, about and Zach's moved on to the mod now and had success winning and running top 5s, and
they get around the mod, nice, yeah.
I said I'm the only guy that's not moved on to something, and I go, all I have is the Dirt Weekly on Wednesday nights with my friends.
Yeah. Why am I not seeing Damagala in here?
He was not in Jamestown. He was not there. He had something planned that weekend, and he couldn't be there. I cannot remember what it was. He told me what it was, but my mind is blinking.
Yeah. Sean and Mark were missing on that deal there, too, and I don't know.
There was something going on that pulled people away.
I can't think of it right now, but yeah. So, nonetheless, it was a Stampede, and a Stampede win is something to be proud of, so.
Ryan Michelson picked up the late models.
Man, he disappeared too.
Yeah,
he was fast.
A blast from the past. Mitch Johnson.
Everyone loves that guy.
Went plus 15 to finish 5th. Came out of a B main.
Okay, Mitch did. I was just thinking he broke down late on, but he did not. Yeah
finished 5th.
I think Mitch is what they say. Mitch has won it 9 times. He's the all-time.
Yep.
It makes sense because, of course, Mitch had GA cars way back when, and all that, so we've been around racing forever. Mm-hmm.
No, pretty cool. Cool event. Stampede. It's the Stampede is something that I didn't participate in or partake other than maybe as a fan or as a broadcaster for several years because they didn't run IMCA classes. Mm-hmm. And when we're in Western North Dakota, we're IMCA, well, they can just do their Wissota thing down there, and I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
And now
it's hard to switch over on Tuesday and race on Friday, so.
And now that the no Jesse Long Gowdy wedding weekend was last weekend, was Oktoberfest weekend. Now that they've invited all the IMCA cars down, it gives us a reason to go there. So now we go there, and with moving forward, I think Brock is going to invest into a modified and maybe get one because he's enjoyed it. So we'll probably be going more often.
No, good on the Stampede. I like to say the track looked, it wasn't dusty. That's always important to me, and it looked like it was damp, which is exciting. So I thought there was multiple lanes to be had and some movement
they have
going around.
that boom, and it covers the entire track when they water it. That is
right. I keep thinking the truck's going to lean over and the left wheels are going to come off the ground, but it doesn't. It is a big boom.
Well, that makes for even watering.
Yeah. Nice job.
It was kind of funny. The wind was blowing pretty hard on Saturday. Pretty wicked. I don't know what miles per hour. I don't pay attention to that. Maybe 30-mile-an-hour winds. They tried to drive that boom truck around to water the track. I don't know how much water actually hit the track because it was like a mist just blowing away.
It evapped on the way out. Oh, boy.
But their thought process was there.
Yeah.
I think they realized that they were just kind of.
What was the car count again? 255?
270 something, I
in
thought.
The 70s, okay.
I will tell you here in a second.
Their reputation for track prep is way up there just with Estevan.
Actually, it is,
taken well. Jamestown's taken a beating here the last couple of years. I mean, some of their weekly shows they've had.
277 chat says thank you.
Yep.
Yep.
Some of their weekly shows they've had rubber. They just put some new dirt down this year, so I heard they have some rough racetracks.
Heard there's some roughness there a month and a half ago type of deal.
Yeah, but they got it worked in, and just like any other track prep crew, I mean, when you introduce stuff like that.
Yeah, it takes a while to get it all kneaded together, if you will.
But I believe the Stampede was a great racetrack. Mm-hmm. Had a little bit of moisture, character kind of through the middle, and you could run that. If you could make your car work through that, more power to you. But you didn't have to race there. Yeah. You could race around it.
Like you're saying, the bodied cars kind of ran around the middle to low, if you will, and yet the late models ran the rims. So, I mean, again, when you're building a track for all classes, that's a tall order. It's really a tall order. I thought it delivered well.
8 or 9 classes they had.
Yeah.
I mean, that's legitimate.
My own fault. I missed the good cooking, but next year ain't over yet.
Well, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Introduce some different sausages that we've never had before. Buffalo blue sausage.
Uh-oh. That sounds dangerous.
Oh, it's good.
We've got that. I don't know if you've seen in Marketplace, the blue buffalo is in the parking lot on the corner.
That.
That's it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh. Whoa, heck. I saw the blue buffalo there in the parking lot.
It ain't cheap, but it's good.
Well, that's usually how the world works.
If you can afford a Hoosier, you can afford a blue buffalo hot dog.
Yeah.
They had some. We had some.
Make your choices carefully.
Brown sugar cheddar.
Sausage.
Oh, it's good.
Oh.
They're beef sticks. Next show, I'll bring some blue buffalo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
That is the Stampede. Now are we on to Oktoberfest?
Oktoberfest. Mandan
Oktoberfest.
And I believe, not last year. Last year it ran, but it's been rained out or weathered out before.
Well, so last year they canceled Friday, and we raced a full show Saturday.
They'd gotten a bunch of rain. It was wet down low there. Yeah.
Now this weekend was phenomenal weather.
Oh my God! Again, the weather, winds. Wow, beautimous.
190 cars made it to the Dacotah
That's what
Speedway.
It ended up being,
Wow. 8 classes. But
again, these year-end deals, that's what they're supposed to be. So I like it. I like lots of classes and lots
Corey
of cars.
Palm is glad he stopped by the trailer.
Yeah.
Must have been for the food. He was there.
Yeah,
I think I force-fed people. If they stopped by it, they had to take food.
Rifle to the head. Grab something.
So let's see here. We got, let's start with slingshots. Dacotah Speedway Oktoberfest this year. Gunnar Raynard.
Yeah.
Keeps the momentum rolling.
Gunnar just on a tear.
Is he moving up? Did he age out?
He's not aged out yet.
I would say I don't know how old he is. That was going to be my
Let's
my Gunnar
click
question.
on it here and let's see. It does not say how old he is.
Because Gunnar has got it going on. The 50 car is moving.
God, I want to say that Chris Morgan asked him, and I thought he was only 12.
12, huh? Uh-huh. Because Sladen will be done after this year. Sladen's birthday in November, so.
He'll be 14.
First. Yeah.
So moving up to Sporty Mod.
Yeah, we've talked about they got a Sporty Mod going on, so.
Dusty Thompson, Oktoberfest sucked for me, but track was good. What did you have to do? Why did it suck? Where were you at?
Well,
I mean, really, in the grand scheme of things, it kind of sucked for me too, but I still got to enjoy a weekend with friends and family and fun.
Yeah. The last get-together.
And dusting off the talents.
Yeah.
I guess.
So Brandon climbs in a race car. He almost missed the whole year. Not counting Arizona. Not
counting Arizona. I almost missed North Dakota race season. I got to race at least once in North Dakota.
You cornered yourself. You
to
had
that
to make
weekend.
the last weekend.
The beater crew, the beater clan is a lot like who's on first, what's on second. You know, you never know what car anyone's going to be in or what class they're going to be in.
Well, we didn't bring the contingent
That's
of cars.
pretty fair.
Yeah. We didn't bring the contingent of cars we brought a year ago. Oktoberfest a year ago, I think we had 9 cars in our pit area. We had We had Max's Hobby. I had the 5-car. We had the Brock Sport Mod, Max's Sport Mod, Brock's stock car. We had Tim. We had Trevor. There was a whole group of cars in our pit area last year. This year we only brought 4. Kind of tamed it back a little bit. Brought 4.
Only.
The Haas machine, back to not 24 Motor Magic, 23 Motor Magic. That car was a wheeling and dealing that last Motor Magic. So when I heard you were in that, that's a good marriage.
Yeah. Yep.
So Trevor was your pit man.
Well, we took Trevor's car. He's been having motor problems, fouling out spark plugs. I happened to have a motor sitting on the shop floor. Came out of Max's car last year, Max's Hobby Stock. And I said, well, I'm going to put a motor in it. I'm going to put a transmission in it. We were trying to help Trevor diagnose maybe what his problems were in his car. Mm-hmm. And so we put my stuff in. Went down to practice on Thursday night, ran one run. It wasn't running right. Brock and I rebuilt the carburetor in the trailer, hoping that was the problem. I got in the car, barely missed last call for the last run to go out, so I didn't get to run it out in practice, so my next opportunity was heat race. Took it out in the heat race. They decided to wreck taking the green, which gave me the outside line to go around them all. Ended up second. Car still wasn't running right. Kind of had that ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba down the straightaway stuff. Come in, I said, it's not carburetor, it's electrical. There's something electrical wrong with it. It's not a carburetor because a carburetor kind of blah, blah, blah. It kind of has a different feel to it or a different sound.
Yeah.
This sounded like it felt like it was just cutting out. Just like cutting out.
Like you're flicking the on-off switch.
Right. So we went in between the heat and the dash. We went to changing stuff. We changed ground cables, checked the battery cables, spark plug wires. We took the distributor apart. We decided, you know what, we were going to just replace the module. Well, we were looking at things going, let's just replace the whole distributor. So we ran a trackside and got the distributor, put the distributor in, had it all ready, take it out for the dash. It was running better, but it still wasn't running where it needed to be. I felt like I had no straightaway speed. So now we're like
you had too much gear in it or
something. Like I was running out of gear halfway down the straightaway.
What's that distributor cost?
I don't know. I didn't even look at a price. $200? But ask Travis.
But
Travis
can tell you. Here you go. Here you go. The money's just a-flying.
Well, when it ain't running right, you are really frustrated.
You're scrambling. The biggest thing was I felt like if I just get it to run right, the car was handling good. Just get it to run right, I'd be faster. I mean, poor Diesel Rainer got screwed over by me, not only in the heat, but he got screwed over in the dash too, because I was not fast enough. I was in the way, but I was fast enough to be in the way.
On race cars, we can't put Adam's scanner on it and see what's cooking.
Right. Fast enough to be in the way, but not fast enough to do anything. It's a sick feeling when I'm sitting there and I get a run on somebody out of the corner. I'm like, all right, I got a run on them. I'm going to go by them. And halfway down the straightaway, they pull out 4 car lengths on me. And I'm sitting there going.
And you're flat-footed.
Wide open.
Yeah. It's not missing, but it's not pulling.
Yeah. So then I made some phone calls. I made some phone calls to SIBO. I talked to Adam Goff. I talked to Brock. We had a breakfast session at Cracker Barrel trying to diagnose what could it be to cause this thing not to pull. So we heard that they were giving us hot laps to help burn the track in. Perfect.
This is Saturday now.
Saturday. Mm-hmm. They're giving us hot laps.
Second day.
Perfect chance. We pull the carburetor off. We put a different carburetor on. Actually, Trevor's carburetor we put back on. We thought maybe Trevor's carburetor was the problem with his car, so that's why we didn't run his. We ran one of mine. Put Trevor's carburetor on, go out for hot laps. Things running a lot better. Now I feel better about going into the feature because you guys need to understand, down in Arizona, I felt like I didn't belong there. Well, this is the same carburetor I had on the car in Arizona.
Different car, same carburetor.
And I came home from Arizona looking at Brock. I told Brock down there, I don't even know why I'm here. I'm not competitive. Well, if the carburetor was a damn problem.
And after having a fun year in the 5 car, that didn't seem to make sense.
Exactly. I started, and then after Friday night, I was literally starting to doubt myself. Well, maybe I'm done. I'm not.
You never know when it's going to show up.
Yeah. I go, maybe I'm done. Maybe it's over. At 42 years old, I can't take the summer off and just show up in a race car anymore.
The bottom fell out. I'm gone.
I was like, it's terrible.
Well, dang.
I did have my senior moment, and on the first lap, I drove it off the top of the back straightaway, fell all the way back to wherever I was, 15th, 16th, 14th, somewhere in the back middle half of the pack. But I knew I had a car because I was having to, when I was in traffic, I was having to lift halfway down the straightaway for people. And I'm like, we got a car.
Refreshing.
You know, I'm like, this is good. The car's pulling all the way. And then once kind of things cleared out, the field moved to the bottom because they were chasing moisture. And I kind of knew what they were doing. So, but when you're sitting in 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th,
you can't go through them.
You got to race where they're not.
Can't
so I just started banking in it up high. And
Trevor's giving away secrets.
Oh, no, that wasn't the case. But as soon as I started to figure out that there was moisture going in up high, and I could get it to turn and rotate and cut through the middle coming off, kind of do that half diamond off.
Yeah.
Down the hill,
Runner off the roller coaster.
You know.
I think when you first started driving, maybe your conscious mind, you were thinking about it too much. Then as you got going, then your racing muscle memory started to kick in.
I think you're right. You're probably right.
Did have a whole lot of time off, so yeah.
Now we're rolling. I catch up to the 41 of Saxon on the outside. I got to go around him. He's running my line. What the heck? I dive to the bottom. I show him I'm down there. Caution comes out. I'm still behind him. Okay, what is he going to do on this restart? Because that determines what I'm going to do. We both get a start. We both get a start, and I see him start angling to the bottom. And I'm like, thank you, because I didn't want to go to the bottom. I wanted the top.
You're on the high ball train.
Yeah. And in 2 laps, I went from restarting 5th up to, well, I mean, actually technically 3 laps, went up passing Grinstead. As the caution came out, I was passing Grinstead for 2nd. I don't know if I would have been able to catch the leader and pass him. I don't have that answer.
No.
But it would have been fun to find
out.
out.
A fun run, though, so.
It would have been fun to put on a show for the fans.
Absolutely.
I feel like I could have, but my bitch and gripe for the weekend is, man, Dan, you guys can take this as whining, complaining, whatever you want. You make us buy 2 pit passes, $60, $30 the first day, $30 the second day, and then you cut our laps. You know, like we're racing for $1,000 to win.
Yeah.
My complaint is give us an opportunity to win the damn $1,000.
How many laps got shortened?
Was 15.
Oh, okay.
15 lap feature. They cut 4 off. We finished with 4 to go or whatever on lap 11.
Did you know they were cutting laps at the beginning of the race?
No. Well, we knew it was a 15 lap feature. We at no time was it a 20 lap feature. We knew it was 15 lap feature.
15 the whole time.
It was 15 the whole time. And my only argument to them cutting laps is, and this is not a gripe. This is there was a lot of drivers that complained about it. There was some confusion, some unclarity on some certain things on the receiver that didn't tell us what was going on in the car that cost us time in our time limit. And they came over the receiver on that caution with, I don't know how many to go, 6 or 8 to go, 7 or 8 to go. And when I went from 5th up to 2nd, 3rd, I finished 3rd. They didn't complete that last lap. But when I did that little run there, they said next caution ends the race. So we knew that the next caution, when that caution came out, I knew the race was over.
Yeah, I see.
I didn't agree with it. I wasn't happy about it, but I knew the race was over.
The format, like you say, is a 2-day 1 feature deal and a double pit pass and end of the year deal. I don't know. I mean, but you certainly can't take 3 hours, but
I understand.
Nice to see the last 4 laps get played.
I understand
As
time
a fan.
limits. I understand time limits. I understand trying to get the show in, but I just felt like they went out and worked the track beforehand. There was some slimy spots still on the racetrack. A couple of them cautions were caused by the slimy spots.
It's a Saturday night.
Yeah.
They have a curfew. I get all the reasons. I completely understand all the reasons. But at the same time, they need to completely understand our reasons of we come there. You know, I'm bringing
when you're going to have 8 classes, you need to have some flexibility on getting those 8 classes in. You got 2 days to do it. So
now I'm going to bring up a caveat because somebody's going to throw it back at me. Brock Beater won a shortened race last year in the sport mods. So it benefited.
It works both ways.
It works both ways. It is what it is. I'm not mad at anybody, not complaining.
Yeah.
It's just one of them deals. I believe the fans got shorted maybe what could have been one of the best finishes of the weekend.
We know that prepping a track before a feature makes it tough. As I say, you spend a third of it just hanging on.
And the first few laps, that's what it was. The first few laps and when you water and you prep a hard racing surface.
Butter on a frying pan.
Yep.
It's slippery.
And what the problem is what nobody sees, like the officials don't see it, the flagman doesn't see it, and maybe the announcers don't see it, was there were strips of slime. Like it was a 2-foot wide strip of slime going into turn 1, a 2-foot wide strip of slime coming out of turn 4. It was just slime. When we got on the throttle, the original start of the race, the leader, myself, I was inside row 2, there was no going forward. It was just spin your tires, kicked, and the ass end was kicked out.
Stock rear suspension cars really struggle on it. But I've experienced both. I've been in a mod and this, and man, at least the mod will cheat it up a little. These things here, you're just sunk.
It is what it is. It was a great weekend.
Mine must not have a curfew because we were going 1 a.m. on Saturday night at Motor Magic.
It's been questioned, but I defend them in this right. They've never abused it. It was 3 days of Motor Magic. It was Labor Day weekend, and it went a little late on Saturday. Nobody died.
Mandan, I know, has a hard curfew. They have a hard draw a line in the sand curfew.
They do, huh? Yeah.
I do know that. I believe it is 11 o'clock. Even on a Saturday night, Friday night, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that's a car town.
Yeah, it is. It is. And
so I get all the reasons why, because if you allow one class to do it, then you have to allow all classes to do it, and then it turns your night from a
4-hour deal to a 6-hour deal.
I get it. I understand all that side. I'm just saying
but for the betterment of the show.
Well, no, I'm just saying eventually somebody, myself or whoever, is going to look at it and go, well, they shorten races there. Actually, the text message came in right after the race. When I got back to my phone, there was a text message, and I'm not going to say who it was from. We were trying to get a certain racer to come from a long distance away to race this last weekend. We were trying our hardest to get him up here. He messaged me, my phone was sitting there, the text messages were there. I am glad I did not come because I would have bleeped somebody if they cut my race short, especially when I paid 2 pit passes to race. You know.
Well, it's we're going into fall, and we're going to talk about these things because
it's just
we want it to be right on all levels. We, as in all of us. So, what is the fix?
Got to find the happy medium. I hope they don't run the IMCA hobby stocks out of there. I hope they keep bringing us back.
Yeah.
I hope they don't blame the IMCA hobbies for the shit show of a feature race because it did get kind of caution-y. It did get kind of wrecky. Take a step back and look at the drivers that were causing the yellows because it was the same little group that was causing them.
Yeah, and like I say, these farmed racetracks, I get why we do them, but that first race out there on them, like the heat races in Boone, it's breath-holding. I've complimented Smallsy on the fact that we can go out and race on the first lap. That's refreshing. So
the hard part is you could feel it, but you couldn't feel it. If you didn't get your tire in it when we were out there kind of packing and we were using the throttle to try to figure out where it's slick, where it's tacky, trying to work it up a little bit, there would be times, I mean, like literally, when you're out there on the track and it's a 2 foot wide or whatever, a foot wide section that is slick, that is wet, slick mud, well, under pace laps, you may not have even tried to hit that spot because it was hard to see, where it was wet, where it wasn't. When I went back and watched the race, I can see exactly where it was wet, where it wasn't by watching the first few laps of the race. But
like you say, the car just slides out from underneath you. You're almost not in control.
So last year you won it with Loafman's car.
2 years ago, Loafman's car. Last year, 5 car.
Where's the Loafman car?
64 Ree.
Joe's car. Okay.
Joe Ree.
So you were going for a 3-peat.
I was going for a 3-peat.
That's
what kind of stung the most.
Yeah.
A three in a row, 3 different cars.
3 different cars.
Not that I planned on 3 different cars.
Haven't raced since January. It's a great start to a good movie. Yeah, that, like you say, you win some, you lose some, all in the same
Brock
motif. But
Brock benefited from a race getting cut short last year. I have no room to complain. I can't get on my soapbox. I just said my piece, and it's over with. Tim Otterness picked up the IMCA Hobby Stock win. First time I ever met Tim. Cool guy. He's from Brainerd, Minnesota.
yeah, it looked like he was having fun.
Yeah, that meant the world to him to pick up that win. That's all that matters, really. But
Brenner coming on strong at the end of the year.
yeah, his last show on a hobby stock.
Yeah.
They they talked about that, Brenner Grinstead.
See if they put it up for sale this week. I haven't talked to him yet this week, but yeah, got a car. He'd gotten a stock car here this past spring, and they're gonna put all efforts into that. So, and I believe Tyson will be still staying in a hobby stock. I understand that way. Or at least I did a few weeks ago.
I'm not trying to break news, but there was some discussion.
Oh. See, I wasn't at the track the last 2 times.
There was some discussion about maybe him moving up as well. I don't know.
Ah, okay. Well, again, I haven't checked in, so
all it was
I'll hold off.
Was a quick talk.
Yeah. I see.
That will not happen. I will not be in Arizona in January, Jesse. Not happening this year.
Oh, okay.
Zach, about time you get another episode. Yeah, I gotta put a hobby stock
random dirt
compact
days,
together for you to come up to North Dakota and race
hours.
next year.
Yeah.
Get Zach up here.
Have you thrown that out there? You're gonna. What are you making, a sport compact?
I don't know. I'll get him something to come up and race, and I want to be the race director so I can say, Zach Heiderbrink, that is questionable driving. You go ahead and take it to the pits.
Jeff waved the black flag. Oh, dang. Yeah, it's that season. We know all the answers now.
Kyler Satrin had a good run. He went from he didn't even make the dash, so he was outside the top 8. He was up battling Brenner for second.
I think he ended up 4th.
He ended up 4th.
Yeah.
Yep, I got him before that last lap.
So does that feel weird when you're out there? Because all season long you're seeing Brenner running good, Kyler running really good, and next thing you know you're seeing them side by side.
Yeah.
Friday night, I would have told you, if you would have talked to me Friday night, I would have told you guys that these guys have surpassed me. It was going to happen someday.
My reign is over.
Yep.
But your 2-barrel was a 1-barrel. Something was going on, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
But now that we got it running right, I felt like when I was behind them guys and the car was working up high, I felt like I was right where I was supposed to be in a race car again.
You look pretty good there.
So Trevor didn't want to drive with.
Trevor's motor is wore out. 200 plus nights or whatever's on that motor, it smokes all the time. So we just I had a motor sitting there.
You brought motor will drive.
Yeah, bring motor will drive. We just bolted my motor and tranny together, slid it in the car, put it all together, and went and raced it.
Well, Trevor better be paying attention. If that needs to be rebuilt, again, like Ryan's deal, you start doing the talking now, because it'll be Christmas in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Yeah, I can see what you're seeing, but I can't roll it up and see what I'm missing.
Well, and then it jumps down as somebody comments. It jumps down.
Oh, Chris might have a compact
sitting
set in the corner. Oh.
Well, it's just for Zach Heiderbrink.
Well, I feel it growing legs right now.
Just for him to race a night, come up and join us and race a weekend, maybe.
I've talked with Chris. He knows what you mean. He knows what that means. Taped on numbers over somebody else's. That'd be fun.
Joe Reed, that's a name from way back.
Yeah.
And look at that, 12 spots up. So obviously he's got a good car. He knows what he's doing.
Joe's gotten back into racing. He's enjoying it. Joe's close to my age, and way back in the 90s, he participated with us at NODAC and stuff like that. I know he was driver of the year one year, so good on Joe. I enjoy friendship with him. He's good for racing, so he's having fun.
And Alex Twite, he can run with anybody, and he can be as fast as anybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were all right up
Alex,
front
good
there.
racer.
I mean, Aiden Paul was right up front there. It's when I was mid-pack, the further I went forward, it was harder and harder to pass, which is the way it's supposed to be.
Supposed to be, yeah. It is.
Aiden said, I talked to Aiden after the race, and he came over and talked to me in the tech area, and I got by him because there was some contact between him and Hudson Hooker. That's another one. He doesn't show up in the stat sheet that he finished very good. He was all the way up into 7th or 8th at one point in time because it went Saxon, it went Hooker, it went Aiden Paul, and then me on one of the restarts. And there was some contact between Paul and Hooker, and I was able to go by both of them on the outside.
Had the lift and correct, and you were able to capitalize?
Yep.
For not running there regularly, that's a great representation of cars.
We had more IMCA hobby stocks than they had Mandan hobby stocks. If that tells you anything. Now, there was a decision made a couple years ago that because the stock cars outnumbered the street stocks, they made the switch to IMCA stock car. So
I've heard nothing.
Let's have that trend go back again. Let's continue that trend and just convert over with the rest of us.
Dickinson.
That's just a dream scenario. I don't know anything. Do not know anything.
Dickinson, Mod Tour Night. I thought this was a figment of my imagination. You'll remember this, Jordan. You probably won't. But Tony Marsh, when he was driving that Nova in his heyday, prime Tony Marsh.
Mm-hmm.
I sat with Tony at the Mod Tour in Dickinson, and I asked him about this. And it's true. It was when they were super stocks.
Mm-hmm.
And they ran him. They started him out front with the late models, and he held them off for 8 laps.
I don't remember that.
And
but
he said the only reason that, of course, the motor started coughing, he was having some trouble, but he was holding him off. That's what I'd like to see is the winner of their hobbies run them out front with you boys. See what they got. Throw them in there.
I think it's super. I think it's closer than we think.
Throw Gabe DeShaw out up front with the A-mods and see how that goes.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, you want to go down that one there. I mean, when Kelly Henderson was running his sport mod, it was typically the fastest laps of the night. Again, the stopwatch never lies, even when you want it to. But I don't follow that nearly like I should. So
I mean,
where does Gabe's laps fall in with A-mod talk? Because the topless two seasons ago now, Robbie was the second fastest modified.
Yep.
So
some say a different racetrack. But
Marcus,
I'm just saying.
Marcus Tomlinson had the fastest lap in the mods at an 18.7. This is Mandan.
Mm-hmm.
And you go all the way back. Jeremy Keller was 19.014. So he's in 11th. So first through 11th, 18.7 to 19.0. Let's go to the sport mods.
Mm-hmm. High 18-second lap. Okay.
Best lap. This might... 19.642 for Gabe. Understanding the track was completely different.
Mm-hmm.
They had farmed.
That's always the dialogue.
Yeah, so they worked the track before the hobbies. Well, the next class out after the hobbies was the sport mods.
So they had a primo track.
So there was, by the end of our race, it was a primo track for us hobbies, and then
still 7 seconds off, or 7/10 off. So
19.6, 19.642
to 18.7.
Yeah.
So I'm just rounding
almost
it up
a second off.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's
fast.
a lot.
It's not when we're sitting here talking, but it is when we're in our race cars.
So
we're
to your answer, 19.6, where would he have ended up? I mean, we could have went average lap time, but just go with fastest. 19.6 puts him, 23rd. Dayton Olheiser had a 19.5.
Mm-hmm. Some rubber come in for the A mods. At least that was the discussion I understood. So maybe that speeded them up a little bit too. But again, reflecting back to weekly shows, Kelly Henderson typically had the fastest lap time of the night in his sport mod heydays there. And even though the A mods jump around, I mean they do the dance, if you will. But the stopwatch only knows
so
how long it takes you to get around.
The Mandan Hobby Stocks 21.630 was. I clicked on average this time. We can go fastest if we want, but I clicked on average.
Average is probably pretty close.
21.143, top 10, 21.7. So, I mean, there's 0.6 between. So then you go to the IMCA hobbies. and we're just having fun. So what was that, 21-1? So Brenner had a 21-1-9-1. 10 was 21-7-8-1. So honestly, their
They're
hobbies
really close.
Their hobbies and the IMCA hobbies are super close.
Super close. That's close enough to line them up.
Yes.
I mean, 210s. We're always chasing 210s. That's the dialogue.
So let that be the discussion for next year. You know, this could be
40 cars on the track. Throw them out there.
out inside row Mandan hobbies, outside row IMCA hobbies.
3 wide to start.
Move over, Boone. 410s. Name 311s and 410s. Woo!
Yeah, so super close.
Yeah. Well, we're going into that season. What if?
What if?
Oh,
Let's
dang.
roll on to the sport mods. Gabe DeShaw, 2 weeks in a row, had to make a late race pass to get by Rich Pavlicek.
Yeah. Actually, him and Rich put on a pretty good race
And
there.
that's
so,
saying something when you can pass Rich.
yeah.
He's a player.
Years of experience and accomplishments. So.
And he don't make it easy.
No.
And I believe it was
He knows how to.
one caution is all they had right at the beginning, and then they ran the rest of the race.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Tim Goodwin with a top 3.
Yeah, been strong all year long there and wrapped up his season with a.
Finally, Robbie
Good
Roselli
finish.
came back and wanted to race with everybody, and he got 7th.
Yeah. Robbie been MIA here for, a month and a half, so.
I think he had a wrecked car that had to get fixed.
Yeah, it was down at Jets on the jig there. He shared that, so got it back up and going. So I'm sure he needed to get a run on that, make sure he had what he thought he had going into winter. So he'll be okay.
Tim Goodwin is a new name to me this year.
Yeah.
And he has been impressive.
Well said. Yeah.
He's on.
Kind of felt we talked about him. I almost feel like he kind of come out of nowhere and was everywhere type of deal, and has won a lot of features and lots of top 3s as this night was. So
Has his car for sale on Facebook. There's so many race cars for sale right now.
There is. I'm concerned. I thought maybe the industry closed or something, but it probably happens every year. Did you hear his plans? Are looking at it at another sport mod or?
I did not hear his plans. I have not talked to him.
I didn't see it was for sale, but I haven't looked real hard either. So.
Sport Compacts. Zach Eubanks continues the roll. He is on fire in the compact class.
Man.
He's the new dominant driver.
You know, it used to be Yost.
Yep.
That was king. And Zach seems like he
has found his
what
place.
That Benjamin Burke's living the dream, though.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Raffle car still having a good time.
Yeah, but then you got Freddie, Josh Dukeshire in 3rd.
Yeah.
You know, these.
Yeah, Burke made a deal with the devil. Had to have. I mean, what a year.
He looks hooked.
What a year.
He ain't missed nothing, so. like you say, a great deal. I mean, the raffle car it performed all year long, and we probably got another driver.
That raffle
hooked.
car couldn't have worked out better.
Yeah, that is a Cinderella story. It's awesome, so. Hope he keeps on keeping on.
I'm sure Yost is thinking, I should have kept that one.
Chris Shares at his day job just wears him out. I mean, he's running down South Dakota daily and kind of like yourself, doing a bunch of driving, trying to get back. And I know he just signed up Friday. He wasn't able to get there and then race on Saturday. So it was nice that Mandan did allow that to happen.
Yep, you could sign up on Friday night
and
then miss Friday night, but you still had to pay both pit passes to race Saturday.
Yeah.
But you could just start tailback.
But at least they allowed that.
Yep. And I noticed that.
I was close to interested in that. Just the day got away from me again. But sometimes Friday at this time of the year, I mean, if you're in the farm industry or whatever, you might not be able to do 2 days. So
I might be talking out of turn here. Yost was up 7 spots there, so he was coming with a head of steam.
But he and he wasn't there Friday night, so he had to
he
start
started tail ends. So, but nonetheless, you're taking that challenge too. So
yeah, he was moving forward. That's for sure. Mandan Hobby Stocks, Jeremy Englehart wins. Now, why does that name sound familiar? Because who won the Richard Jordan Memorial?
Yeah.
Jeremy Englehart.
Yeah. Yeah, so, well, and I was doing that there too. So their hobby stocks are kind of like a trophy class in a way. It's kind of what, I mean, there's no limitations on who can and cannot drive.
Correct.
So I'd gathered that because I'm like, Jeremy, that's the one that won the Richie Jordan, and it is. So.
And he's had one of these Mandan hobbies for a while.
For a while, yeah.
You know.
I let myself
And he
think
also
about
raced.
that for a while.
He also raced with Soda Street back when they had streeters.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's moved into the sport or into the stock
car.
cars.
So. Mm-hmm.
Let me reference that trophy class that you just brought up, because some thoughts that run through my mind. The one that you ran in Underwood, was it the second night of the Cole County Classic? And of course, Rutland's pretty hot in that class.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, why am I not in Pfeiffer's Modified going after Rutland on that?
See? Steven, you heard it here first.
And
At least I did.
I actually texted my wife that. And then like 5 minutes later, whoever was driving the Tornado's car slams it into turn 4 corner.
And that's why you're not in his car.
She said that part? Yeah.
That's why.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Zach, you're a little behind. No more winter gnats at Kokopah. Yeah, that got released this morning.
Yeah, I saw that too. So
I don't
looked like it was going to move to
Central Arizona.
But what'd that mean?
Up in Coolidge.
Tell us, Zach, what'd that mean?
Zach, you commented back earlier, I have no intentions of going to Arizona. If you can get me a paid position with you somehow, I'll gladly come down. And
you have no plans. If someone said,
I got a car here, fly down.
You'd be there.
Well, I can make plans.
What he said.
I can make plans. Yeah.
If it involves racing, you're there.
I have no plans right now.
If you know, you know.
Zero intentions. Zero to go to Arizona this winter.
Right.
INEX Legends, Donovan Weist picks up.
Yeah. Good on Donovan too. But he did get around Noah. So.
Yep. Got around Noah.
And
Noah and Gage Madler right there, second and third.
Yeah. Yeah, he got around him, and that's a feat that doesn't get done very much anymore. But good on Donovan. Good race. Good finish. I thought they were just flying around the track. Holy smokes. Yeah, 2 lanes are on the bottom for them.
A bunch of legends there. Oh, man, did they have quite a few
40,
legends.
I think?
Yeah, that's kind of their home base.
Yeah, kind of their home base, yeah. I would agree.
IMCA stock car, Tyler McDougall.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard of him.
But what a kick-in paint scheme. The whole Kel Yarborough.
Kel Yarborough
that
on the
was
Hardy's
cool.
throwback. Yeah.
Do you
He's
remember
from
that?
Hawley, Minnesota. Yeah, I don't have a Cale Yarborough car up here. But I remember
That's
the Hardys.
not the only one you're missing.
Yeah.
You don't have one. Yeah.
Marlon Seidler second. Jarrett Carter. We talked about the Carter family.
Mm-hmm.
I actually felt bad. I was kind of cheering for that Hardy's car, and I'm a huge Sean Strand fan. I'm like, man, I can't be cheering against Sean here.
Yeah.
There's another name that's going to – I thought he got hard charger, but he didn't. Brody Carlsrud, hard charger, 17 positions up. He started way back.
Yeah.
He must have started last.
He wasn't able to make Friday, so he started
okay.
in the back, but he got up to 10th, and good on him. That's what I was saying earlier there. He coming through the field, so.
I got to pump the brakes and go back to Motor Magic now that I've brought that up. I think Sean Strand needs a new name. Like you do very well at Oktoberfest, right?
Yeah.
He's Mr. Motor Magic. I mean, he's getting to be king come Labor Day at Nodak.
As long as he keeps coming back.
I mean,
let's just call it keep coming back, Sean Strand.
Yeah.
I bet
Yeah.
if you got the stats.
Well, and he put the
look
dash
back,
together down there in that deal, and
Yep.
then it slipped back on him a little bit. But
People they look at me and laugh when I say things like this, and there's Jason Walla fans. There's not Jason Walla fans out there. The world is a better place with Jason Walla at the racetrack. Everything just seems right. Sean Strand is the same way. The Nodak Speedway is a better place with Sean Strand at the Nodak Speedway.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate everybody else that comes to that pit area. I enjoy every last one of them. There's no slight on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It just reminds me of my childhood of having Sean Strand at the Nodak
I don't like
Speedway.
it that you say that because that makes me feel old when you say that.
Just give in. Just let it bounce off you.
I remember Sean Strand in the grandstand standing watching The World of Outlaws, I think, with Paul Schultz, and he's had the hair flying, and that was way back. But we're young, man. Don't be talking like that.
Yeah, so Tyler McDougall, Hawley, Minnesota. I'll be honest with you, I think I watched him race over there at the Stampede. I may have even made a comment to somebody
that would have been the first time I seen the car, and
about how kind of out of control he may have been.
His My Race Pass profile pic is nearly not as cool as that. That's not as good.
Yeah,
as
that's not the Hardy's car.
Yeah, that's not the Carol Yarborough Hardy's car, huh?
And then the final feature race, Travis Hagen wins the A-Mods.
Put on a clinic.
It started in the dash the night before. Like, he started, I can't remember in the dash. He started, looks like 6th. So he went +5 up to 6th. So, or up to the lead. From 6th to the lead. He's the first one that found that bottom groove in the dash.
Yeah.
That was able to work by everybody, and
it carried over to Saturday, and he finished it off. I thought, if I'm going to be just slightly critical, I thought maybe he was just a little bit free, a little bit light on forward bite, if you will. But making the adjustment going into the dash and doing what Travis does, and that's finding the line that works for him, was able to get hooked up there on the bottom there. And then once that dash was over, I thought, boy, somebody's going to have a heck of a presentation to break that. And I'll go on record, it didn't even get challenged.
Mason Eisenzimmer says McDougall had the Ken Block throwback scheme last year.
Oh.
I must have missed that.
Two guys finishing on a hot streak, Marcus for sure, and Chris Tuchscher.
Yeah.
He is finding speed and keeping that car tight.
You're exactly right. I got to give Marcus props. Doggone it. Yeah. Such a great run, and, of course, Travis is doing Travis stuff. Marcus, of course, just having some fun with it, but has went on record saying that there should be a second-place trophy to Travis. He's not wrong, because he's got it about 25 times, I think. But and no diss on anybody. Travis is a great racer, we know that. But Marcus had a beautiful run.
Yeah.
Just hooking the bottom and doing what you're supposed to do, and he made it as far as mortals can make it, and I agree with him.
I get the feeling Marcus has done good the last 2 weekends, and he's itching. I can see him on Facebook. He's kind of itching to go somewhere.
Yeah.
He's itching to keep the momentum rolling.
He wanted to go to Billings there, but calmer minds looked at the pay and went, hoofta.
There was discussion when I was down at the Stampede of me going to Billings and doing some broadcasting. Calmer minds prevailed on Monday morning. I am not going to Billings.
Yeah, lots of things happen in the pits. You got to wait till Monday.
You're at the point like Gabe is. Okay, do I go from sport mods to A mods? And this is real. Do I dump the day job and just get into the racing?
TV.
Yeah.
Well, something. I mean,
right.
If you did it full time,
that's a good parallel.
I'm not.
You're not there.
I'm not there yet.
And another guy, I think probably the most overlooked, probably not even underrated, but Quentin Kinsley. That guy can wheel a car. He loves that top groove, and he can go, and he just doesn't seem to get the chatter as a lot of other guys do.
We had the return of the Robert Hellebus.
Yeah, I was going to say he had 2 cars because we had a 24.9H.
Yeah, 249H was Quentin Kinsley's other car.
Yeah.
The second car. So both Quentin and Robert.
Oh, okay.
I was
going to say
they DQ or DNF.
Quentin and Big Show got banged in tech, and I don't know what they got.
Yeah, I don't know what they got either.
Well, Quentin the first time didn't go to tech, so he blew him off, which is fair.
Yeah.
Right.
Whoops. Okay. Oh, he didn't stop. Okay. I don't know what happened to Big Show. Yeah. Well, you get caught up in the moment. You're thinking things out. You want to get ready for the next one. And then, oh, God, I forgot.
So Robert's a lot like you,
but I didn't
who's on
stop.
first. How many different cars has he been in this year?
It's got to be 3 or 4.
He was in Small Z and
him and I actually had that conversation about getting in different race cars and how the challenge of you get when you put a car together, you put your seat in it, you have your seat mounted where you want it, you have the pedals where you want it, and the challenge of trying to race uncomfortable. Like you're not sitting the way you want to sit per se.
Yeah.
I remember you were saying that one of the cars that you were driving, Can't remember which it was. It was last year you were talking about. It wasn't quite set up for
the
you.
8K. I mean,
There you go.
or not 8. The 8 car down in Arizona. Kenzie, Kenzie's Jason's car, Kenzie's car. Kenzie has super short legs compared to me. I mean, Kenzie ain't. I mean, I don't know, what is she, 5'3" or 4?
Yeah.
So her pedals were super close to me. And I had that problem as well in Jay Loafman's car when I drove it. We actually moved the pedal. He had an adjustable gas pedal, thank God, and we were actually able to move the gas pedal. Otherwise, I was sitting in there, if you can imagine, sitting in there with your knees spread, with your heels together, trying to run the gas and the brake. Made it work, but Trevor's car I'm probably more comfortable in out of all of them because Trevor and I are both the same size. So we don't have to worry about fitting into there. But
So why do you suppose Robert doesn't get his own after?
I think he's maybe planning on it now.
Yeah. He went through some health challenges there or whatever, so back problems or whatever. So, yeah, maybe this was a way of kind of testing the waters and see where he's at with that whole ordeal possibly. One thing I wanted to reflect on there, you're talking about jumping in and out of cars and things being different. The one thing that I've learned from that, and I haven't got to do it a lot, but you're so certain that everything has to be super comfortable, and ideally it does. But really at the end of the day, you're used to still approaching the corner like you approach the corner. You know, you do the double pedals like you do the double pedals. You're not super comfortable, but you realize that it isn't the car in the seat. It's you. I mean, it's you.
Right.
I mean, you really start.
It's one of them deals.
You start understanding yourself, I guess.
Once you start racing, you don't even think about it.
Yeah. Right.
You know.
Right. I've hopped in other people's cars, just try to help troubleshoot or whatever, and it hasn't been right, but once 2 laps in,
once you go out there and you take that first green and you set it in once, you're like, oh, okay, that's how it feels.
Yeah.
And then
this thing wants more next time. Yep. Next time. Not that much. Okay, this much. So, yeah. Pretty cool deal.
But when you basically him and I left Robert and I kind of left the conversation was, let's just get our own cars and be done with this jumping car thing. So.
Yeah.
So this
got all winter.
This is fair because at Motor Magic, I called them the Mandan Bullies because they came in. They kind of dominated the final mod race. I think.
Yeah.
Dahl was up there. Kinsley won it.
Yeah,
Sean
won it.
Up,
Mark got second,
and
Sean was third, fourth. Yeah.
Right. It's like we're taking the money from Minot and taking it back to Bismarck. Well, this is a little bit of revenge. Travis from Williston, Marcus.
Yeah.
Turtle Lake, Drew from Minot, Brady from Williston.
I thought Drew Christensen had a quiet, good weekend.
He
had a good
weekend,
but quiet.
He is another guy
He's
that
just
is
there.
He doesn't get a lot of fanfare, but he can run with anybody.
Drew, he can get her done, yeah. Marcus had actually shared that he just pushed a little bit and he was able to sneak underneath him, but time-wise, I mean, they were all there. So.
But what you're saying, Zach Frederick's kind of the first local down there in fifth. And when you're looking at that, you'd think, no, that's got to be Sean. It's got to be Marlon. It's got to be somebody from down there. No, it's.
Yeah.
And Tukshire representing from Burlington. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, it really comes down to we talk about the two different kind of tracks. And we have a wetter type track up here and they have a drier type track down there. So they were able to come up and, throttle us in our sandbox and yet us wet track rodeo clowns, we were able to go down there and do it to them. So
it's great that they traveled.
We
traveled.
Huh? Yeah.
It was.
And that you came out of retirement.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
I'm not retired. I'm just not racing. I will not
like a
use
volcano.
The word,
it's dormant.
It's dormant. I'm dormant. I'm not retired. I'll get in a race car. Maybe next year Jenny and I kind of had that discussion. Just to have a car sitting here for me, but it's an expensive investment just to have a car sitting for me to race.
But it's easier than throwing it together last minute,
Yeah, but Trevor's car wasn't necessarily last minute. I mean, we got on, we did it all Sunday the week before.
Isn't there any talk to say, hey, Brody, why don't you go to a football game? I'm going to drive this thing tonight.
No, we don't want to do that. We want Brody to be able to drive his car, and we didn't take Max's car away. We didn't do anything like that to Max. We want them to. When they're young, seat time is important. They need all the seat time they get. Taking them out of the car and putting me in it or somebody else in it makes no sense in the grand scheme of things.
In the focus of getting Brody up to speed.
Yes, in the focus of Brody's future. Brody and Max being young, Sladen, whomever, these young kids have such their ceiling is so much higher than mine at my age or yours at your age.
Been poking in and out a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
That they need
Are you telling me
they
that
need
at
their seat and pedals in the
53,
right spot?
My moment is gone?
way gone.
Not at all.
Well, no. For you, have you raced a race car before? You're Dunsky. You're Dunsky.
In my mind.
I don't think Jim Barnstable started until he was 40. He was successful.
Yeah.
40's not 53,
I'll give you that.
But
It's just one of them deals. I watch these young kids. I watch Max. I watch Brody. I watch Sladen Pfeiffer. I watch the Gunnar Reynards, the Keenan Glossers. There's an endless list. They are able to learn so much faster than some of us
they're
older
probably
guys.
doing school sports. I mean, the hand-eye coordination and feet is just always being challenged and sharpened. And
they're able, when you're young like that, you're able to learn and process and the fast. I catch myself sometimes I can't process fast enough. I'm doing this stuff and it's just like
your day job's
He's ruining
in
my
the way.
ego. I'm feeling really old here now.
I'm sorry you feel I don't know.
You're just in between us.
For you to pick up a new class or go into something new right now would be a challenge.
Yeah.
I wonder when
You know.
Marlon Seidler started. How old was he when he got going?
I have no idea.
I don't know how old he was. We could figure it out.
Is he in his 70s now?
Well, there he is. Our Marlon Seidler, John Corral, right there. John Corral had a heat win this weekend.
Yep.
And
I think he won the dash in Stampede or
No, he won the dash, and no, he didn't win the dash in Mandan. He won his heat in Mandan. Started pole of the dash and went back.
Okay, yeah, started the pole of the dash, right? But
Yes, Jesse, their minds work faster than our old minds. Their reaction time is quicker. I went off the top of the back straightaway because
you had a
honestly, I had a moment.
It wasn't planned. It happened. You had to react.
I was in traffic. The last 2 years at the Oktoberfest, I never was in traffic.
there is McDonald's in turn 2, so that might have
No,
pulled
it's
you
turn
there.
3.
There you go.
Yeah. You can see it out of 2,
I
though.
see the golden arches over there as I go down that's what makes me come out of 2 down the back straightaway so fast. Hey, there's McDonald's. Oh crap, we got to turn.
The golden arches.
That's why everybody misses turn 3 down there in Mandan, because McDonald's is right there. And a new coffee
There
shop.
might be more to that than we think. Golly.
Oh, Brian Schleck, Jordan Boyce eating corn yet?
Yeah, no. We'll get there when we get down to our Texas Red moment, but
Yeah,
no, my expectations were high and my delivery was, it was poor. So, but I talked to the Beebs and my Texas Reds there, and I'm going to change my planting distances next year. So,
Fear the rear, making moves. Who made moves this weekend or over the last 2 weeks? You got anybody in mind?
I think those Chris Tuchscher
And Drew?
Drew and Quentin Kinsley. They've been impressing me.
Marcus Tomlinson with his hard charger run, finishing second.
Was it the first night of Motor Magic that Tuchscher got the win, or was it the week before? But he got a feature win and looked fantastic.
Yeah, Chris has won. I know he won a couple early on at Nodax. So, well, again, hard to overlook Gabe's accomplishments.
2 in a
Stampede
row.
and Oktoberfest, that's pretty solid. So, good run by Travis. I'm all on board with Marcus having a great run there. I want to get a feature win here. So, somewhere, somehow, it's all there. It just hasn't materialized yet. So.
Mine's going to be kind of lame, but you don't always get it this time of year. Mother Nature.
Yeah.
She feared the rear for 2 weekends in a row and gave us beautiful weather.
Yeah, I said that at the top. It was phenomenal. Still is.
Still is.
So,
Still is. Supposed to be in the upper 60s all weekend this weekend.
They're
Smalls,
talking
open it
mid-70s
up.
across next week.
Yeah.
I think next weekend's in the mid-70s.
We don't need water. Throw a few porta potties in the corner. Call it good.
And we're going to Watford City for an indoor?
Yeah. And it's supposed to be 70 degrees outside. We might as well make a track outside.
Yeah. Put up a couple of cones in the
Is
parking
the flat
lot.
track done? Are they still going?
I have no idea.
Corey had a deal on. I think that their season ended here weekend before last. I think during Williston.
I have no
during
idea.
the fall roundup, I think. Or was it Stampede? Might have been Stampede. Yeah, so, yeah, you're right. Mother Nature was good.
Making moves. Okay. I keep going back to Motor Magic because I just really think that was really, really good. Final night. Larry McFall, Lindsay Lawson, Nick Holberg up in the booth. Come on now.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a Woodstock
The reunion.
reunion.
It was a big deal. I mean, I thought it was really cool to tune in. We kind of touched on it last show. Tune in from Devil's Lake, because I was in Devil's Lake all weekend doing their show, and to have the three of them up there, at least two of them, Lindsay and Larry, together again, I thought it was pretty dang good.
It's not like they enjoyed themselves. That was fun.
Yeah. Jesse Long finally made it to victory lane and have a trophy to prove it. I missed it. Where did you win?
Oh, yeah. What did he do there? He did something there.
What did I miss?
Yeah.
It's got us all stumped.
Yeah, no, I was there. Where were we now?
Yeah. But yeah, fear of the rear, making moves. In general, I think last time I gave it to all the racetracks for the job that they did putting on the races. And
the behind the scenes.
The behind the scenes stuff. Oh yes, Matajovic's car in Botno.
Right.
Jesse
right.
Yes, Jesse, congrats on that. We forgot to touch on that.
Yeah. Yeah, we had Botno in there too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Had a 2-night deal in Botno that
we got together last week, didn't we? Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Was it 2 already?
It is hard to keep track, man.
It's only 52 in a year. Right. Right.
Yes.
The trophy class. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Bruce. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. So we're not far away from going into the next season, which is going to be banquet season.
Yeah, we're only a couple
we have
weeks
upcoming
away.
schedule. We got one more show.
Yeah.
Katie got a win up at Botno too, and that
Yeah.
name that was rocking cool.
That was rocking cool. She hopped in Eric's car and gave it to him. So, yeah, we should check in with them, see if they got an A-mod cooking.
Maybe, huh?
Well, that's quite a jump from a hobby.
Yeah, same.
We're back. Texas Red upcoming schedule.
Woo.
Kind of the
So,
biggest thing that we have on the upcoming schedule. Oh, I got to go back to this. I got to take this out of here. Do I have it loaded in?
Props to Darn TV, by the way, because I didn't make it to the Stampede in person.
yeah.
I didn't make it to Oktoberfest. And I've actually learned some techie stuff. I thought that my modem or internet couldn't keep up with you in your new camera. I had to update my browser.
Oh,
And I'm rolling now.
legit now, huh?
I'm with you.
You
Cool.
lost me at browser. But nonetheless, you were able to
No, shout out to
subcontract.
yeah,
under
shout out
the,
to Dacotah Speedway TV. I mean,
yeah.
it's nothing. I don't
Mason
get anything.
been on here talking a little bit.
Yeah, Mason's been on here. Basically, all they're doing is just simulcasting across Darn TV. They're getting another set of eyes on it that maybe people that would go to Darn TV and go, can I watch the Stampede this weekend, or can I watch? It's similar to IMCA TV. You know, it's just
Because you're
the
all
mo-
subscribed in.
right, yeah. The
Yeah.
more websites, platforms you put it on, you know,
Access.
the more access people have to it. Correctly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so absolutely shout out to them for, you know, getting on the bandwagon. They did it with the Legend Tour, you know, the INEX Legend Tour earlier this year, and it worked out really good. They had it on Darn TV this weekend, and I didn't that was the best part. I didn't have to do nothing.
Well, to Jenny, Jessa, behind the cameras,
Yep.
I mean, it makes my life great.
It's
it's fun to follow along.
and the problem is it's such a call it a thankless job or whatever you want to call it. Like, nobody wants to go to the races and watch the races through a little 4.6
lens.
Wide screen. You know, you want to go there and enjoy the races, have a beer, have a hot dog, well, they're sacrificing all that. Whoever runs camera is sacrificing all that because that's all they get to do is run camera. And if they have a 15-minute intermission, they run down the steps, they go to the bathroom, maybe grab a drink or something to eat, and then right back up to running camera again.
Was that Joey Galloway's car in Williston that stalled out on him, went in the pits, and your drone was like right in the cockpit on him?
Yeah.
Joey was there. So.
That was that guy
car.
that can run that drone.
Well, did you watch the last show?
The drone's dead?
The drone's dead.
Yeah.
I have not reached out to Bobby Tripp to see if the drone's going to make a comeback or not.
That is a concern.
That is.
Because at Boone, some of the best footage is
the drone.
Just, I think
they
I can
can
watch
keep up with traffic, so and they race around on top.
Yep.
But the guy that's running that's got some skill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's no 60-year-old learning how to run a drone. Or 53.
I resemble that.
Was that a shot at us? That was thrown.
Well, a few of us. I'll take it, though. Well, the challenges are real. Yeah.
So the upcoming schedule, the most immediate upcoming that we have is the Bakken Shootout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is October 12th, coming up here a week from this Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were there in February, and they had the first time deal. I thought we had a good time. Indoor track, so naturally it's not outdoor sized, but they are saying it will be bigger this year. So I know that when we were there in February, they talked about moving this, a couple of items around there, and they're going to get a little longer and a little wider. That's exciting. It's going to be too nice to be indoors, but it's going to be exciting.
We're going to go back to this planning thing for me. As of now, I have no plans to put it on Darn TV. Because I will be flying solo down there with Jorn, Jorn and I.
No Maximus? He was the cameraman last time.
They have bowling in Dickinson that weekend. So
they're close.
They're close, but the bowling is in the middle of the day. Starts at 1 o'clock. Their bowling tournament does down there 1 o'clock, and
we start at 11.
We're started at 11, so there's no way that they can be in both places.
You and me, and we're looking for a camera guy.
Yep. But as of now, if I don't find one, I'll just go down and we'll enjoy some announcing.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
What I remember about
Craig,
that
you know how to run a camera?
Possibly. In February, when you were down there, you had a really good interaction with the slingshot drivers when you were interviewing them.
Yep.
I really enjoyed that. Got to know them quite a bit. And that's one thing that you were really good at is you just get to their level.
Yeah. Don't ask them yes or no questions, as you say.
Prices are not right for the pits in Watford. I stole this off your guys' Facebook page, Maggie. I don't know. So this is just a little promo for this. Don't look at any prices.
Yeah.
So do not hold the Dirt Weekly accountable for pricing.
Yeah.
Did you have pretty good viewership when you had the camera there in February?
I didn't do a pay-per-view. I just did some Facebook stuff.
They're probably backwards on the pit side.
Maybe. I don't know.
Let's say 35 for spectating, 25 for contestants.
Yeah.
That's probably backwards.
Yeah. Yep. It's okay.
Well.
Once again, just don't hold.
Don't be budgeting to the last 10. You might be short.
Did you get gassy in there?
It didn't. Actually, it was actually pretty nice opening up a door, but I don't even know that would have been required. Watford City, everything that happens in Watford City is modern, cool stuff. I mean, the buildings are first class. They pitted inside, which I'm suspecting they will be again. And I believe the ventilation was probably adequate, but it was such a nice day, they actually cracked the door open. I think if nothing else, we could at least just kind of see outside and enjoy the view, per se.
But why are they doing that there? Because they don't do it in the summertime.
Well, it's rodeo orientated, so I'm guessing rodeos are, for the most part, their summer sell there. They have an outdoor and an indoor for the rodeo. But when we were there, I mean, their enthusiasm was super high, and the conversation about an outdoor track was real. So Brad's involved in this. We'll see if we can bend his ear a little bit and see what we can learn. But
what in Minot is comparable size?
There ain't.
This thing's big?
Floor space wise.
Arena 2 at the fairgrounds.
Yeah. I was gonna say all season stuff.
You know, the back room, the back Arena 2 would maybe be the only thing comparable.
Yeah, because this was a multi-room building, so they actually pitted in what I would call kind of a community room, and then it was across the hallway and the concessions were in between and stuff. It all worked great. It was cool that it was inside, everything, the pitting and all, but the track part itself, and I know some of the discussion when they were there in February, they said they're building yet another building that's twice the size of the one that we're in, and it's like, where? And he pointed off to the northwest. I'm like, we're going to have two gigantic buildings here. So obviously it kind of got built over the course of a summer, but nonetheless, their enthusiasm for racing is real, and yeah, just what you need, something else to do. But I think if somebody went down there and offered their expertise, I think the tractors would start moving. That's what I think.
Park Jefferson, down in South Dakota, down in Sioux City, north of Sioux City, South Dakota, they did a complete remake of their track. They had like championship night about the motor
on a half mile. I'm making it up, but you'll get the idea.
They completely reworked and rebuilt their racetrack to
a quarter mile
to the same layout, the same banking, the same size as Boone Speedway.
Is that the copy?
The copy is Boone Speedway. And we were watching it on the side of the trailer.
Is that Chase's track?
Nope.
No, it's the other one. Okay.
The other one.
Okay.
Interstate is Chase's. Park Jefferson is the one across
the road.
Across the road.
I mix them up. So
we watched that. I can't remember if we watched that down in Mandan. I'm guessing we watched it in Mandan. It raced just like Boone. Them guys were racing just like Boone. And
little tracks and setting close to it is where it's at, man.
I'm on board. Somebody build a track in Watford City and let's make it Boone Speedway.
Yeah. Well, again, so somebody with a little vroom knowledge of the game.
Let's get that done.
We'll see what kind of room you get.
I thought there was some chatter at time of reshaping Nodak to the.
There was when John was still involved there. We wanted to make it smaller and build it around the new grandstand. Again, when you reflect on some of the most exciting tracks we have in North Dakota, Grand Forks and Jamestown are first two that come to mind. You set close to it, it's small, keeps things close. Oftentimes, at least my experience has been when you get on big tracks, and I mean bigger than mine at half-mile stuff, especially if you're watching, they spread out too fast and too far. I mean, they're going fast. I mean, they're going 130 miles an hour, but they're not close. So
the other rumblings that I kind of heard, Interstate Speedway is not closing their Mr. Long. I never heard the closing part.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
The other host. I never told him we were doing a show without him. He said he couldn't make it, and I just went with it. I just got a hold of you, and we met here. The banker's here, too.
Smallsy and the banker. Are you two together?
Reshaping has been going on he just leaves us hanging. Stop typing.
Yeah.
Have you met Kelly yet?
I did, in Underwood. Yeah. I didn't know who she was, but I do now. We're still screening for her.
She goes back to the old grandstand days. We used to sit beside them. Mike and Josh, and she knows her stuff.
Yeah. We're always, we're keeping racers from pulling a quickie on her. Gotta make sure you have your.
The news I heard on Interstate Speedway, Jesse, was just Chase and Shelby are no longer going to be promoting it. That's what I heard. Chase and Shelby Elves were the promoters of Interstate.
With the flood and all that just took them out of the game?
Well, no, they made reference to something maybe going on with the ownership of the track being uncertain and this and that, and they just said we're out. So I hope it doesn't close, but you never know. They have their big show this weekend, the South Dakota Nationals, Fall Nationals. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, out of town shows.
I was going to say upcoming schedules. There's a deal in Billings. There's a deal in Hayes.
And there's a deal in.
Anybody going to Hayes who wants carried on 3 sets of heads, get a hold of me.
I don't know
if anybody's going.
I don't know of anybody. originally I had some maybe tentative plans of wanting to go, but it just
Come up too quick.
I got actually the car's loaded. We could probably take Trevor's car down there right now. It's loaded and ready.
And
But
she's unscathed. She's race ready.
I got too many other things. You fall behind all summer long, not
you
keeping
gotta get
up
the
with.
water out of stuff, or you're gonna have broken stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh-huh.
I mean, still trying to finish Smalls' comment here. Reshaping has been going on
Yeah.
for.
Come on, Smallsy.
I
You
mean,
got us hanging.
have you not ate lunch all week? You're reshaping the old body, or what?
Oh, dang. What's Kelly know tonight?
I don't know. She's joining us late. She'll have to go back and
Yeah.
listen to the first part.
Interest rates are dropping. Loans are flying like crazy now.
Yeah, I heard that it got halved here a couple weeks ago. So,
Hot sauce fantasy. I don't have any hot sauce topics. Maybe my only one and only would be the cutting races short on a 1-show 2-day deal.
On year-end deals,
Yeah,
don't burn us with the weekly show rules on a
year-end special.
established year-end stuff.
I'm
I
racing.
think there's room for dialogue in there.
Reshaping has been going on for I'm
racing. Come on, Smallsy. Come on, Smallsy.
You need to be sitting here to make
Yeah.
sense to us.
He needs to be working on getting the track open Friday and Saturday night tonight, this
Well,
weekend.
he said he was going to be in Vegas next week. He's not racing in Vegas. Well,
There's
what do you
no
mean,
racing in
Smallsy?
Vegas next
right.
week.
Next month, but not next week.
Yeah, I heard it's the final duel in the desert. The other talks I
Whoa,
heard,
Really?
What does
Whoa.
that mean?
the final Las Vegas duel in the desert.
For
I heard the rumor on the street, it's the final one. That's
Oh.
that's been posted everywhere. So
I didn't see that
if you
either.
want to go to the duel in the desert, it's the final one.
Oh.
why?
I have
That sucks.
no idea.
The powers that be are powered out? Well, what the heck? I never made it there, and I'm not making it there next month either, but,
It's one of them deals what you talked about. I don't even enjoy watching the racing at the Las Vegas dirt track.
Maybe because it's a big track.
It just
It's
gets too
big,
spread out.
Yeah, that's just too spread out. So
Yeah.
I honestly won't even tune in for it.
I mean, if you the magic of Boone is the size.
Yes.
I mean,
the
you got a
shape of it.
catwalk all the way around it. Everything is exciting. It's right there. It's just missing our dome.
Holy, it took you a long time to get there, Smalls. I'm playing NASCAR 08 on PlayStation 2.
He missed this for that.
I guess.
What are we doing, Smallsy? Oh, dang.
Well,
Well, what about reshaping the track? Where were we at on that? Yeah. Oh, look, a squirrel.
yeah. Well, obviously he can only comment when he's not racing, so he must be in a race.
Oh.
They can make more money parking semi-trailers there.
Huh.
Oh, yes, you're right, Tom.
On the Vegas deal?
Are they tearing down the whole track and parking trailers there, or are they just using the parking lot? That's what I remember.
Because
somebody
it
telling me.
it is in the parking lot of the big track. For
Yep.
the
It is,
NASCAR track.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It was put out last year. The price to rent track is getting too large to put on a race. Yeah.
Well,
I heard good news the last couple weekends. Being around some different people. Rugby maybe making a return with some actual racing, not enduros next year.
really?
Maybe.
Loftman?
I don't know who's all involved, but I heard the rumors going around that maybe.
I would consider my time at rugby some of my funnest times racing.
Yeah,
It was fun.
they're just using the parking lot.
Oh.
Good thing Tom Henderson's
Yeah.
listening and paying attention. We get way more out of you, Tom, than we do Smalls.
Not only keeps Smalls in line, but knows what's going on. That is, oh, wow, that's double duty. Thank you, Tom.
What's unique about rugby, just like Underwood, they pit right in front of you,
Yeah,
and then you see the track behind.
yeah, and not a big track. Here we go again.
Right.
And where Underwood,
Things stay
you're
pretty close.
parked amongst the racers.
Yeah,
You know,
literally, yeah. We're all in it together.
Yellow, and it was me. Put the beer down. Or
I was
something.
gonna say, you took it right. He's drinking on a Wednesday
Smallsy,
night.
even on your 410s, it's still tomorrow. You got Friday night in high gear here, dude.
You in Vegas already? He must have caused the yellow,
dang.
and it was him.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
We did hear
Yeah.
Cocopah was
We
closing
touched
as well.
on that a little bit there. Going to move everything up to central Arizona. Brad was on there saying there was some insurance challenges there he couldn't overcome. So I don't know what that means. Just telling you what I read.
Hot sauce. We back to the hot
Yeah,
sauce. Got
hottie
any other hot
sauce.
sauce?
Well, the family of 2 is the family of 3. So we need to check in with hot sauce. See how the
I got to see
the
baby.
over you
I
got
got to see baby hot sauce
mini sauce.
at the birthday party.
Oh, okay, yeah. We were at the birthday party, right?
Yep, at Marcus's
Yeah,
birthday.
Marcus's surprise 30th birthday party,
Which
the
worked
night
out great.
before the Stampede.
Yeah, Mariah did an excellent job of surprising him.
Kept it a secret.
All right.
Yeah.
So that is a hot sauce
I
topic for
told him
hot
I had
sauce.
to ignore him for a week so I wouldn't slip.
He hopped in the
I meant it.
Laudenschlager car, and he looked great.
Yeah.
Why is he not buying that hot rod?
And he ordered a new Rage.
Oh, really?
Ah.
That is
Yeah.
spicy.
Well, yeah. So he's on the winter build.
Yeah.
Paying
A lot
attention.
of people have ordered new Rages.
Well, as I go on record, we should have a spare Rage just sitting around.
Just hanging out.
Yeah. Like Pfeiffer's is for sale. That should just be kind of the
That-
community frame.
Facebook on that for sale race car page on Facebook, your car is like the face of that page.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
It is.
Okay.
But I was scrolling through that, and Pfeiffer's car was on there, and that felt like a part of the family. I'm like, ouch.
Right.
So if Brock's interested, man,
Let's put those out back.
that car's gifted.
I'm not going to speak out of turn on Brock because I don't know what Brock feels or does or says or whatever. But there has been a lot of discussion about, and I know Isaac and I talked about it. There's been a lot of discussion about it takes a different driving style or a different way to drive a race car to be in a Rage car versus maybe some other chassis.
No.
And yeah, you're Fear the Mullet, or what is it?
No.
Tight fitting jeans.
Tight fitting
no, is it
jeans.
Fear the Mullet?
Which one
That
is
one's
it?
Fear the Mullet.
No.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of tight-fitting jeans, I haven't heard that for like 3 months. I think they took it off the reel.
Oh,
She
man.
tried to hide it.
I haven't heard it for months. It was getting thin this spring. I thought they were just, I don't know.
But back to the whole Rage thing. Brock, maybe after driving this GRT, feels like he gets a better feeling a little bit on more racetracks than just the Rage is super good on the hard slick. Super good. Like that car out in the garage, you take it to Mandan, you'll be a top 5 car in it. You know, right now. Brock was confident he could have took it to the Oktoberfest. It won on that car out there won Oktoberfest with that motor in it, everything as it sits. But he
Last year.
But he went to the Stampede the next week. There was a little bit more character in the track, a little bit, you know, not as slick, not as smooth. Out to lunch. Them things are so finicky. Either they're on. If they're off, they're off.
They're
you know,
touchy, huh?
And Brock just, I think he's kind of at the point of maybe not going with the Rage, trying to find something else that better suits what he does.
Well, again, I think his drive in the A-Mod has been nice.
So everyone's
Delivering
always
more than expectations.
always
He
trying
looks
to
nice in it.
everyone's trying to find that next edge, siping the tires, whatever, and money buys speed. So you're trying to find a new car, but do you think Travis gets calls like, "Are you interested in selling that thing?" Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if he does, because it's
Travis ain't a new car a year guy, though.
no, and
5, 6, 7 years old is kind of his deal.
Travis is going to
I know
have
the
a
feeling.
hard time selling his car because of the year that it is. I think it's a 2016. And honestly, Travis is his own worst enemy. If I buy Travis's car for $30,000, it best come with Travis Hagen. Because if it don't come with Travis Hagen, I'm not buying nothing.
But I'll go back to that Tony Marsh.
I often say that's why some fast cars don't sell. It's like, oh boy, expectations are high. Nothing's left but me now.
Because I'm going to get in that Travis Hagen car, and I'm going to
Right.
finish 20th, and everybody's going to
Right.
go, well, Travis Hagen won in it.
That Tony Marsh Nova,
Yeah.
Ed Turnbull bought that from Tony and launched the Turnbull Legacy.
Ah. Well, it can go that way.
And he bought it. Man, I used to know the number, but it was a song that he got it for.
Yesteryear's numbers were big yesteryear, but they're not this year, so that's true. We didn't need Kelly back then. We need her now.
And unfortunately, that car sitting out in the garage, it's a 2014 Rage, updated in 21, has all the new front end on it. It looks like a 2021 Sport Mod that you'd get from Rage, but nobody wants it. He's had it up for sale all year. Not a single person is.
I was listening to a story with Sean Strand. Mason was interviewing him, asked him about one of his favorite cars. It was a J car, and he won a lot with that thing, and he let that go. And of course, it continued to go on to win races. And there might have been some seller's remorse on that.
Yep.
That's why I say, Steven, you never sell a fast car.
Yeah. I always say they can
But
sit behind the
Steven
house.
has the mentality kind of like what Brock or I do or whatever. The next car will be fast.
That's confidence.
Yeah.
Like you, Craig, I might not have that much confidence. Oh, shoot.
Well, what else you guys got? We're at 2.5 hours. I know people are.
Well, Brian was asking about corn, so I better give a little
us a
corn report. So, corn. Okay, well, I'm going to go on record that I failed, but Justin and Jeff haven't given up on me yet. We're just going to call it the rookie season. I didn't really get much for corn. Now here's where it gets interesting. Okay, you saw the big fence.
Yep.
Okay, the deer are at bay. Okay, and I had a little bit of bunny traffic here this spring. They were little enough they could get underneath it. Kind of like Peter Rabbit, the storybook. Okay, so what I did not
Big fan.
know. Yeah, right. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you're in between us. So you're not quite there yet. I can tell you don't know what Peter Rabbit is, but Mr. McGregor's Garden. But at any rate, kind of like Captain Kangaroo and Mr. Moose, you got to be paying attention here. But at any rate, so I have a friend of mine. We're putting up some pallet racking on the dirt side, getting ready for the winter, as you described. And he said, him and the better half were sitting there. They took a break and they were watching. He said, "Here comes a squirrel, comes zipping across your yard." He said, "Up the fence, down the fence, gets a corn cob in his mouth, up the fence, over the fence, and runs over to a tree." I go, "No way." He goes, "I saw it 3 times in the time I was there." That was when I was in Williston. He was. So I thought I failed growing. I'm like, God, where are these cobs at? I can't find any. And I had a little rodent traffic in there, or bird traffic. I wasn't quite sure, but they got too close together. I thought it was just the cobs weren't big. Well, actually a couple were, but then I couldn't find them. I'm like, well, maybe I'm seeing things. No, I've got a squirrel problem now. So I don't know what my next step is. I'm doomed. So I got my penitentiary garden fence up. And I'm going to have to put squirrel deflectors on the top. Like, I'm going to have to be a backwards penitentiary. I got to make it so you can't get in. Instead of being in it, you can't get out. I got to make it so you can't get in.
Well, you made
that's
reference
my story.
To Captain Kangaroo now. Well, the perfect name for you is Mr. Green Jeans. The green guy.
Yeah.
You need to get some green jeans.
Right. Some of us know what you just said, and I'm one of them.
The rest of us don't.
Yeah.
You don't know Mr. Green Jeans?
No.
Dancing Bear? Come on. Mr. Moose and the ping pong balls?
Marcus, help me out. You put damn squirrels. Do you know what the hell they're talking about?
Yeah. Damn squirrels, see? On and off the track. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Marcus. Right.
You need a gun.
Well, so Chris, Steven's helper, Schessler, he goes, electric. I'm like, well, I don't want to fry the dang things, but I want to keep them out. I will share my crop with the wildlife, but I get to pick.
I get to pick.
They'll get some. They got some zucchinis.
I'll set one.
Yeah, 1 for you, 4 for us. 2 for you, 8 for us.
The squirrel community
It's the other way
otherwise.
around.
They're
Yeah.
like, we get first pick.
My buddy Dave says, right up the fence, down the other side. He goes, where's he going? He comes back with the corn cob in his mouth, up and down. He can't fit through it, so I own him that way, but up over the top. 6 feet up, 6 feet down. I may never win. I know how Charlie Brown feels.
Do you get that reference?
I got that one.
Yeah. You better got that one. That one's still alive, but yeah. So,
Well, since you
so Brian, that's my quick story. So, but
no corn has been eaten by you.
Well, I had 2 or 3, and I had a little frustration. We never went anywhere.
So
with them,
why do people such as the corn farmers around the land, do they not experience the squirrels, the deer?
That's what I want to say. I'm like, well, Jesus, I'm at least trying to keep them out.
Because I'm sure you're watering it with your garden hose. You're giving it way more attention than
maximum love. Right. So, but like Tina's aunt, she's got a garden. She's a rural Kenmare. Not a fence, not a nothing. Nothing touches anything. It's like they know. I put up a fence, and it's like, oh, challenge on.
So
We gotta break in.
Mr. Deer went over to the squirrel and
Yeah.
said,
Hey, go get some corn, buddy.
I can't get in there.
If I jump it, I might not get back out, but you can.
The squirrel-
I think they're sharing. I think they're
Yeah.
in this together. I do. I do.
They're eating corn, the squirrel and the deer, listening to tight fitting jeans and laughing at you.
Yeah, man, I'm nothing. I've been steamrolled. I'm flat on the ground. There's nothing left. So, but
There's always next year.
beavers haven't given up on me, and I've got plenty of seed left. So my agronomy daughter Mindy, she says, "Yeah, Dad, you got them pretty close together." Well, I didn't know they were all going to grow. Unlike everything else, nothing. I had 10% germination on everything else. I had 110% on corn. So, but at any rate, I'm gonna make a little jig. So it's 6 inches in all directions here. So I'm gonna plot it out. We're winning next year.
We're winning.
Next year. Oh,
Live from the
yeah.
Jorm Boyce Field of Dreams.
Hey, Craig, you haven't made it over there yet, but Brandon did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a little back and forth on the.
Yeah, it's not quite wide enough, like the fence area, the corn area. We can't even start on one side and come out of the corn row for our Dirt Weekly show.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if we could.
I'm going to replot that so we can kind of get in between them next year.
Well, shout out to the farmers.
like the Boone commercial.
Yeah,
I was in that in the 90s.
Yeah.
The mod tour heading up to Estevan. Did the canola fields look more magical this year? I mean, my gosh, they looked like they were plugged in electric.
Fluorescent yellow.
Yes.
I know it. I know it. That's awesome.
The canola market must be just
we
trash
might not have
as much as
mountains and
they
trees,
grow.
but we got fields and squirrels.
When that stuff's all in bloom, or at the end of the year, when it, the end of summer, when you have the purple and the yellow, just
it's
the
colorful.
colors and
bright. Well, you're right. It's electric.
Yeah.
Fluorescent. So, yeah.
yeah. So hot sauce, we're gonna have to work on him.
It's called
maybe
animal blight. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to learn these terms. I tell you, I'm a rookie farmer, but we are going to step it up. Next year's the year.
I can't wait for the penitentiary.
Yeah, the
outs.
the barbed wire,
Yep.
the razor wire. They're getting it. Something's got to happen. Oh, somebody's looking for you.
It's Max. He's mad at me.
What's new?
That's a story for after the show.
We got the boss and the dad, and
Yeah,
Max.
yeah.
I ain't got much, but I'll try my best. You
Yeah.
got to go to work, Max.
He was
It's
holding
called
down the
life.
fort when I left.
Today?
Was,
Yeah.
huh?
Oh, okay.
Oh, well,
He started texting me.
Let your
pretty
mind
early,
wander.
So.
he didn't burn it down, did he?
I haven't got no text. Oh, wait, one missed call.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Nope. it's
Where's the
cool.
fire extinguisher? What?
What happened? Max.
I left Max in charge.
Oh, we got one more.
Oh.
A few tink or drink parties can take care of them squirrels.
Well, yeah, that's that. Yeah, another one of those 3 in the morning deals at my house. We see how good you can shoot the BB gun. The only rule I have is don't use glass, so use metal cans. That's what Dilly was doing there. He gave you just enough for me to give you just enough to wonder what the heck goes on.
All right, Jordan. He doesn't recognize any of the things that we've been talking about, and I'm looking at his sound list. $1 million, I couldn't tell you who any of these guys are.
I'm telling you $1 million, and I couldn't tell you who they are either.
Yeah.
It is a free. It's called Soundstripe.
Pumpkin Spice Sunrise. Holy cow.
Should we roll with that here?
Well,
We
you're
can't-
beating me up on tight fitting jeans. At least I know what that is.
We can't close with tight and fitting jeans. Would that cost us money?
It doesn't cost us money. Our video will get removed from from Facebook.
Even if I'm singing it?
Well, you can sing it all you want.
She try.
Yes.
Here, let me do this here.
She said I married money.
I'm used to. Okay. Well, no, don't do that now. Pumpkin Spice, whatever we were doing there was probably okay. You just about got out of here alive.
See if you go.
Yeah, that's public domain.
Oh, that's just the instruments. You got to add you. I haven't heard it for a couple of months. I might have forgot the words. Oh, that
Wrong
didn't sound right.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's
Boy.
a remake.
Shut this off
All
here.
right.
Let's go with this now.
It's got a wicked intro. Won't.
Dun, 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 dun.
There you go.
Oh,
There we go.
I don't know if I'll get in
See?
trouble for this or not, but
Are we doing a little karaoke?
The hit crew.
I don't know.
Oh,
Oh,
I think that was.
That was the entry.
Right. Do it, Jordan.
No. Brandon did that for me last year. We're good.
the problem is, as soon as I click off this page, it goes away.
Well,
See, as soon as I click there, it
Well.
stops.
well, those of us that know. Kind of like Captain
Yeah.
Kangaroo.
Mr. Green Jeans.
Mr. Moose, Dancing Bear. What was Rabbit's name? He was always a little troublemaker, just like the garden.
This one just has a good,
Motivation?
yeah, motivation. Get your
thinking-
cars ready. Get
Thinking
them.
I'm swerving, I'm going to get pulled over.
Well, that's it.
Well, we did it on a Wednesday.
We made it. Random dirt, random nights, Wednesday night. Maybe back next week.
Congrats to your win and your great showing at Oktoberfest. That was
Yeah,
cool.
that was awesome.
You
Good
want
to
to come
see
back,
you, friend.
You want to come back and play next week one more time?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Before, okay. So next Wednesday night.
We need
you've
an
heard it.
assignment. What do we got to watch?
I don't
talk
know.
about?
We gotta come up with something.
Well, we'll watch what happens in Hayes.
Yeah, I got
Billings.
the 3 shows. Hayes. Yeah.
Somebody's going.
Smoke and Hank must be at that Billings race, huh?
I don't think so. Oh, you
Yeah.
guys didn't hear this. I went out and picked up a couple rear ends for Jason Burke. Show's not over yet. We'll start the outro. I got to spend
Messing
over
with
an
ya.
hour with Hank Berry.
Yeah.
Because I was down there in that area. We had some trucks working down there. And Jason Burke puts on Facebook, hey, I got some rear ends in Sydney, Montana that need to be picked up. And I call him right away and go, where do I got to get them from? Hank Berry. I'm like, oh, sweet. I didn't have Hank's number. I said, send me Hank's number. So I call Hank, and he's like, yeah, I got them here. They're all ready. I'm sitting here out in the shop. I go, okay, sounds good. I'm almost to you. I'm about 10 minutes away or 15 minutes away. He goes, you know where I live? And I go, when I was a kid, we used to go deer hunting over there. We still go deer hunting over there. And we would stay in a hotel in Sydney. And my dad pointed out to me one time where Hank Berry lived. I know for the rest of my life how to get to Hank Berry's house.
Southeast Edge. Yep. Right after you come across the bridge.
That
Yeah.
freaked him out a little bit.
No, it didn't.
No?
He goes, a lot more people know where I live than I know where I live. Just because, well, his big truck and trailer sits
And
there now.
he's a bigger legend than he probably really
Yeah.
Right.
Hank is a
acknowledges.
big legend.
I thought it was cool to spend an hour one-on-one with Hank and just BS with him and talk, and that was pretty cool.
Back to Stampede stuff. Hank's got to, boy, if Mitch has won it the most, Hank's got to be right there because Hank has won both classes more than once. That was his
Right.
pit man for one of them. So, yeah, late models
Yeah.
and mods, the 2 biggie classes. So.
But Hank has seen his. He did some drag racing. That's where.
Yeah,
he's
he had
been-
that. He had that on Facebook last week. Yeah.
Yep.
Did we talk about this before? But way back, early 80s, there was another race club that used the grandstand. Outlaw Racing.
Yeah.
And Hank was a part of that.
Yeah.
I believe he
They
raced
race
in
on
that.
Friday nights. Mm-hmm. Right. And then be here for the whole weekend type of deal. Right.
That's really fuzzy in my memory.
Like late 80s, yeah. Yeah, you're right. That was a while ago too, huh? Yeah, Hank did some drag racing, just not
Yeah.
change gears there, but James Reichenbach, which pitted
Yep.
for him back in the good old days, is he's a Dodge guy, and I see he had a Dodge Arrow there, and I think he went high 8s
Yeah.
at 153, I think was the numbers. Well, let me tell you, that's not taking a stroll out in the Hyundai. That's a real ride. So
No, he seemed excited about it. It was kind of one of them things. He said maybe his time in the dirt track circle world is done. He still has both cars sitting there. Neither of them is sold. He's got the late model, the Vanderbilt. and
Hank
he's
Berry is saying that his time in the circle track is
he's selling it.
Yeah.
Everything's for sale.
Well, yeah, Craig's not up to speed there, but he had ran a race there, and then he put stuff up for sale. And I haven't talked to him, I guess, but I'm ad libbing here.
he looked
we're
pretty
second
good.
cousins, but
Mod Tour he looked pretty good.
yeah, it's so demanding. I can only imagine what it's like to be 3 hours away from Minot type of deal. He's a long ways away from everybody, but to reflect on his racing life, he actually drag raced before he dirt tracked. He had a first generation Camaro. I can't remember what year it was, 67, 68. Had King Rat written on the side, and drag raced when Glendive had a drag race, or drag strip and all that stuff back in those days. So, maybe revisiting that. You got to stay sharp as far as cutting a light, but even Bob Moody still drag races. So
yeah.
And
do you ever race your Camaro?
I did take it down to Fargo or Glendon there, or whatever, late '80s, and zipped her along.
But never think about bringing it out to the flat track here?
I haven't. Corey's always on me, and I say, well, you race the same time I race somewhere else.
Right.
Chasing the dirt track stuff. So, but maybe sometime. Drag racing, like anything competition, it's got its little things to pay attention to. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Stuff stays clean. You don't wreck it unless you run into something.
Did you build the motor in that?
In
your Camaro?
I did. Yep.
And that's a big block.
Yep. And when Hank had drag raced there prior to dirt track racing, they had big block in there too. I like big blocks.
I do too.
They're just cool. They sound cool. They look cool. They are cool. So I might be representing my age, but so
and they used to pull the late models around quite a bit at Nodak.
Yeah.
Dave Bauer.
Yeah. Ramp haulers all had them in there. And
Wayne Schumeyer.
Yeah. Dave Lackaduck. Yeah. Yeah. Many guys hauled around with them. I still think they're cool, but it's a diesel world now. So.
Yep. Okay, we'll try to close this out again.
Try to music us out. What do we call it? Dip yo hip?
Yeah, we're going to dip yo hip.
You want to get viewers, you got to put Swift on here.
Oh, no.
I can't. This is all, this is royalty-free music, and what that means is I can play it, and we're not going to get kicked off.
Well, then at least next week wear your Taylor Swift shirt.
Okay. I can do that. I don't have a Taylor Swift shirt.
Wow.
I'll get online and find one.
Yeah. Oof-da.
Well, episode 59's done. For Craig Heupel, Jordan Boyce, I'm Brandon Beater. We're out.
Good night, guys.
Yeah, have a good evening. See you next week.